안녕하세요. TV예요. 햄티어브 오리엔탈 특급 살인 이어서 해보겠습니다. 지난번에는 제가 거의 살인을 당했어요. 이 게임에 멀미가 나가지고. 소화력 살인 특급 멀미가 나가지고.
혜준님 영상 보고 바로 햄님
감사합니다. 워싱턴 콩님, 땅나기들의 신님,
고맙습니다.
구독 감사해요.
시험 전날 밤 최고의 선택.
딘드 띵드 딩드님 59개월 구독 감사합니다.
고맙습니다. 햄투베어.
괜찮을 거예요.
고맙습니다. 해마해마 물결표 물결표 물결표.
햄사조님, 킴나님 구독 감사합니다.
I'll stay here to watch over Miss Law.
고맙습니다.
우리가 어디까지 했냐면은 이 형사의 증언을 들었어요. 이 형사 말로는 어떤 어린아이 유괴 살해범이 지금 오리엔탈 특급 열차에서 살인당한 레칫일 것이다, 이런 정보를 줬거든요. 그래서 레칫한테 앙금을 가진 사람이 범인이 아닌가. 근데 일단 이 형사가 앙금이 제일 커 보이는 건 사실이죠. 왜냐면은 그 비열한 살인범, 유괴범 레칫을 얘가 아직 못 잡았거든요. 그 어린애 유괴 살인 사건이 2019년도에 벌어졌는데 지금 2023년인데 몇 년 동안 자유의 몸으로 사회에서 돌아다니는 동안 잡지 못했단 말이에요. 그래서 여기 이렇게 열차를 탄 열차 승객들 중에 데이지랑 관련이 있는 사람이 있지 않을까? 그리고 이 형사는 지금 약을 먹어가지고 계속 잠이 오는 상태예요. 본인이 먹은 것 같진 않고 누가 먹인 것 같아, 저 형사가. 근데 그 밥을 누가 줬다 그랬지? 그걸 까먹었네. 누가 줬다 그랬거든요? 스티치? 막 이런 이름이었는데.
I hope your investigation is going well, Mr. Poirot.
Poirot? 룸메이트. 열차는 눈보라 때문에 꼼짝달싹 못하는 상태입니다. 슈미트? (105호실) 105호실 룸메이트? 얘네? 얘가 왜 약을 탔지? 얘가 얘랑 무슨 썸씽이 있거든요? 근데 얘가 전자담배 흡연자인데 살인사건 현장에 전자담배 액상액이 떨어져 있었어. 근데 본인은 모른대. 그래서 얘네 둘 수상하네. 얘네 둘이 썸씽. 그래, 얘가 얼굴을 잘 봐봐. 눈가에 점이 하나 있고 닮았나? 닮은 것 같기도 하고. 늙어서 그런가? 코가 근데 코만 분장한 거 아니야? 눈썹이 똑같아요? 귀는 못 속여? 자세가 똑같네. 봐봐. 같은 사람 수염 때문인가?
투벼 너무 무리하지 마십시오. 오늘도 좀 어지럽다 싶으면 바로 쉬러 가요.
그래요? 그럼 지금 쉬어야겠다. 약간 둘이 똑같은지 안 똑같은지 모르겠었어요. 살짝 어지러운데? 아, 어지러워. 체격이 너무 다른 거 아니야? 4년 지났다고 이렇게 체격이 달라지나? 손 모양도 좀 달라. 너무 몸이 다른데? 아, 모르겠네. 살 빠진 건가? 뽕? 젖꼭지를 보라고요? 뭔 소리예요? 저 사람 강티 좀. 우리 할 얘기 있죠?
I hope we will be leaving soon. I hope we will be leaving soon.
얘기 못하네 얘랑. 저 인형은 왜 있지? 러시안 인형? 마차차님 36개월 구독 감사합니다. 수면제 탄 거 왜 신문 안 하지? 이건 뭐야?
I should go and interview the passengers in the restaurant car. I should go and interview the passengers in the restaurant car.
이게 뭐야? 제목들? 착즙기? 저것도 왠지 나중에 퍼즐로 나올 것 같은데. 아, 여기로 애들 다 모이라 그랬다 아까.
The
승객들
passengers who agreed to come and talk to you
다
are
모이게 하라.
assembled, Poirot. Mr. Masterman is already here to answer your questions.
Perfect, thank you, my friend. Sit down, Mr. Masterman,
앉아.
please.
Thank you.
앉아.
Does the name Cassetti mean anything to you?
No, should it?
Have you heard of the Armstrong kidnapping case?
Of course. It was all over the news a few years ago.
Your employer's real name is Cassetti. He was the man behind that kidnapping.
Mr. Ratchet was... He murdered that poor little girl?
뭘?
Mr. McQueen, the man you work for
본론으로
is a
들어가 버려, 앉자마자.
kidnapper named Cassetti.
What? What kidnapping?
He murdered his victim, a child
What?
named Daisy Armstrong.
The Armstrong kidnapping?
You had no idea of Monsieur Ratchet's real name?
Damn skunk.
Why are you so upset?
My father was the district attorney who handled the case, Mr. Poirot. I saw Mrs. Armstrong more than once. She was a lovely woman, so gentle and heartbroken.
유괴범을
If ever
위해서
a man
일하는 줄도
deserved what he
모르고.
got, Ratchet, or Cassetti, is the man. He didn't deserve to live.
Madame Olson, have you heard of the Daisy Armstrong case?
No, I've never heard of it.
It was only 2 years ago. It was famous.
무슨
Maybe
사건인지도
so, but
모른대.
it was not famous in Spain, where I have been helping the refugees from Africa.
You've never heard the name Daisy Armstrong?
저 사람은 맨날 계속
Daisy Armstrong?
난민 도와야
No.
되는데.
No.
나 난민 도우러 가야 되는데. 계속
Yes.
그냥.
It was all over the English tabloids before I went to
너무
Jordan.
부담스러워.
A horrific crime that claimed the lives of an entire family and their wrongfully accused nanny. That's right, isn't it?
Quite so.
I thought the
잘 알고
culprit had been
있네.
punished.
Some might say that the culprit was punished last night.
Oh, my heavens.
May I ask you a few more questions?
Yes, of course.
You read about the crime, as you said, in the tabloids.
Yes, that's right. For weeks, news of the royal family was eclipsed.
Have you ever been to the
되게 큰
United
사건이었나 보다.
States, mademoiselle?
No, never. Jordan was really my first trip abroad.
조든?
You were in Jordan?
Yes, I was an English tutor there to the children of a high
Jordan?
official. Until recently.
말해줘. 관계를 말해줘.
What is your relationship to Captain Arbuthnot?
Who?
A former soldier traveling with us. You must have met him.
Ah, yes, I met him on the platform in Istanbul. We only had a brief exchange of pleasantries, nothing more. British Reserve and all that.
Ah, the British Reserve.
귀걸이까지
Yes, with this
잃어버렸으면서 뭔
I am
소리야?
familiar. She may be telling the truth, but I cannot be certain. Oh, the truth
이것도
cannot
아니야?
hide from Poirot forever. Are you sure everything you have told me is accurate, Mademoiselle Debenham?
Of course.
귀걸이. 헉, 벌떡.
Mademoiselle, I know that you met Captain Arbuthnot at the Tocatlion Hotel.
You were spying on me.
I am very attentive to my surroundings. It helps in my profession.
Well, it's your word against mine.
I had occasion to be of some assistance in recovering Captain
시선 회피.
Arbuthnot's train ticket. While searching his room, I also discovered one of
내가
your
저래서 귀걸이를 안 해.
earrings. Whatever your relationship may be to the good captain, I doubt it has anything to do with British Reserve. You will not tell me your secret, mademoiselle?
I can't. I don't know what you mean.
Poirot, Miss Debenham's got nothing to do with this business. Nothing. You hear?
Archie, stop.
Captain, no.
좀
This
친해.
behavior is unworthy of an officer and a gentleman.
Leave her alone. Have you no honor?
Archie, we should go.
Captain Arbuthnot, I am
아치?
certain you are a
애칭까지.
brave soldier, but you are a poor actor. The truth is that
사랑하는 사이기 때문에.
your relationship with Miss Debenham is beyond doubt, Captain. Your reaction was apparently that
내
of a
여자를
man
지키기
trying to
위해
protect the woman he
주먹까지
loves.
휘두르는.
I might understand that if your
물주먹이었지만.
relationship was some cleverly disguised secret, but it is not. You make puppy dog eyes at one another at
Puppy
every
eye.
opportunity. You cannot hide your love.
사랑은
Everybody knows.
I
방구처럼
advise you to
숨길
stop
수가
with your
없다.
accusations, Mr. Poirot. I'm going to escort Miss Debenham back to her compartment. Make of that what you
사랑은
will.
똥방귀다.
The captain and Mademoiselle Debenham
조금씩
are
조금씩
obviously adamant
새어나오다
about not
보면
revealing their relationship.
화생방
This
된다.
scene convinced me there is more that is not so obvious.
This murder has everyone on edge. In my 25-year career, I have never seen such madness aboard the Orient Express.
I understand, my friend. The more we learn, the more perplexing this train ride becomes. But we have other clues to pursue.
What do you have in mind?
둘이
The
근데 왜
broken watch
숨기지?
on Monsieur Ratchet's wrist, for example, and the handkerchief found near the body.
H.
Who does that belong to?
This little drama we have just witnessed has not put you off the scent.
Far from it, my friend. Will you return to your watch over Mademoiselle Locke?
Yes, I will. Dr. Constantine can probably use a break.
Good.
Au revoir, Poirot.
시계가 고장난 시간은 오전 1시 15분. 손수건의 주인은 누구일까? H.
Et voilà.
잘했습니다. 감사합니다. 허버드가 H죠? 헥터? 손수건을 가지고 다닐 것 같은 느낌은 아니지만 호타루? 아니죠? 포쉐? 하트? 아, 이 사람일 것 같아. 아, 근데 보통 성씨로 자수를 넣지 않나요? 이름보다는? H가 너무 많네? 휴민룩? 일곱 명? 아, 여러 명으로 해야 되는 거야? H 들어가는 사람 다 골라야 되는 거야? 호타루까지 해야 돼? 이 사람도 H라고요? 아치인데? 알지? 아, 이 사람이요? 아.
I do not think that's the right answer.
한 명. 얘네들은 맞았대.
No, not good. This is wrong. But I'm never far from the
아치야?
truth. I must admit I'm not right this time.
부인인가?
No.
아니야? 에?
That was easy.
뭐지? 이름을 몰라서? 모르기 때문에? 아, 몰라서 그냥 넣었구나. 콘스탄틴 이름을 몰라. 아니 뭐야. 저 왜 안 없어져?
Monsieur Foscarelli, I would like to ask you a few questions if you allow me.
Ah, Signore Poirot, is it? I was wondering
누구야?
when you'd get around to me. Unfortunately, you find me on a mission of mercy.
Hello, Monsieur Poirot. Sorry, we have a small problem. The orange juicer has broken down and I can't
오렌지
fix it.
주스래.
Mr. Foscarelli
오렌지
has
주스
kindly offered to
기계래.
help me.
It isn't
착즙기가
the car
맞았네.
engine, but I am doing my best.
Even with the two of us, we can't manage.
아 전기차
Let me
얘기했었더네.
guess. You call
아
upon Poirot to help.
I'd be happy
기억난다.
to answer your questions when we finished. It's a real brain teaser.
멀미 나는데? 이거 맞는 것 같은데. 근데 얘랑 어떻게 닿게 하지? 얘가 이렇게 튀어나와가지고 아래로 했어야 됐나? 톱니바퀴가 너무 작은데. 모르겠다. 봐도 모르겠네. 이게 틀렸다 일단. 오!
Voila, it should work correctly now.
너무 쉽네요. 이걸
Bravo!
못하냐?
I should stick to automobiles.
Well, now we can talk calmly. Monsieur Foscarelli, is it?
Antonio Foscarelli, delighted, Monsieur Poirot.
안토니오.
You have, of course, heard about Ratchet's murder last night.
Oh, naturally. It is all anyone is talking about.
이거 사실을 알고 보니까 성우 다 미국인이고.
Have you ever been to the United States?
Yes,
그냥
it
흉내만 낸 거
has
아니에요?
been a primary market
너무
for
오버하는 것
our
같아.
cars for the last 10 years.
아니면
You
죄송.
remember the Armstrong case?
Armstrong? The name, yes. It was a little girl, a baby, was it not?
Yes,
A
a very
baby.
tragic affair. Did you know that Cassetti, the kidnapper, was actually Ratchet?
Oh, no. Then he deserved to
다들
die.
입을 모아서
I mean,
죽어도
wouldn't you
싼
agree?
싼 놈.
Can you tell me your movements on the night of the murder?
I went to bed right after dinner, but I slept very badly. My roommate, Mr. Masterman, had a toothache. Oh, he moaned all night. It woke me up several times.
Did you hear anything or notice anything unusual?
No, nothing that I can think of. I stayed in my bed all night.
Well, thank you, Mr. Foscarelli.
I'm sorry I couldn't help more, Signore. I remain at your disposal if you should need me.
도움도 안 됐군요.
Thank you so much, Monsieur Poirot. I can put orange juice back on the menu.
Enchanté, mademoiselle. You are Hildegard Schmidt?
I am, jawohl. And you, I know, are Herr Poirot.
Correct. May I ask you for a few minutes of your time to answer a few questions?
With pleasure, but
아,
first may
이것도
I ask for your
퍼즐이었구나, 저
Oh,
인형도.
why does this not
이제
surprise me?
놀랍지도 않네.
I don't know.
I am at your service, Fraulein.
My mistress, Princess Dragomirov, has asked me to
Matryoshka.
open this traditional Matryoshka doll. There is a trinket inside she must retrieve.
Madame, in my experience, each Russian nesting doll simply pulls apart to reveal the next one inside.
Indeed. Yet try it for yourself.
As you wish.
You are a gentleman.
열받네 벌써. 아. 아, 퍼즐을 맞춰야 열리는 거야. 어? 순서가 있어? 우리가 첫 번째로 열었던 거가 순서인가? 분홍색, 주황색, 남색, 파란색? 분홍색, 주황색? 남색, 파란색? 아하. 씨. 화면 확대할 수 있나? 분홍색. 저 안에 그려져 있는. 오! 아, 이거는 꽃 그냥 하나로 이어서 하는 건가 보다. 너무 어려워. 세상에. 어떻게 맞죠? 나 IQ 한 자리야. 헉! 친애하는 친구에게.
The inscription reads, "To my dearest
친.
friend."
Thank you very much. This doll reminds her of her youth in Russia. It was very hard under the Soviet regime, but thanks to her strength of will, she rose to be the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg. Even though she now lives in Berlin, it is said that the Kremlin still fears her.
She must be a formidable woman indeed. You are her maid?
I am her companion. I help her in her daily tasks, and I keep her company.
Ah, forgive me. You will have heard of Ratchet's murder last night.
Yes, of course. Everyone is talking about it.
예스. 자수 박힌 손수건.
Have you lost a
당신
handkerchief
거지?
embroidered with an H, madame?
Oh, no, monsieur.
I thought perhaps since your first name is Hildegard.
It is not mine, I tell you. I could not afford something so nice. I have no idea who it belongs to.
My apologies. I
어떤
did not mean to
손수건인지도
alarm.
모르면서 저렇게 아는 것처럼 말을 하지?
Thank you for answering my questions, madame.
수상하죠?
Monsieur, I am Hercule.
I know who you are, Monsieur Poirot. What do you want?
Answers to a simple question or two.
All right, but quickly. My wife is quite ill. I would like to stay by her side.
I promise. First of all, I imagine you know about the murder.
Of course. The Countess is
살인
terribly
사건 일어난
distressed.
건
Your
아시죠?
full name?
Rodolphe Adreny,
Your home is?
Budapest.
And how do you come to be aboard the Orient Express?
I am a Hungarian diplomat. My family has represented our homeland since the revolution from the Soviet Union in 1956. I was on my country's business in Istanbul. Business which I cannot discuss.
And your wife often accompanies you on your diplomatic missions?
영화
Yes, and why
봤어요.
not? Was there anything else you wanted to know?
헝가리안 외교관 18살 34?
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. Can you tell me how you spent last night?
I was in our compartment with my wife. She went to bed early. I played a video game on my phone. Around 11 o'clock in the evening, my wife woke up and couldn't
노이했어?
get back to sleep. She took a sleeping pill. As for me, I went to bed soon after that and slept straight through until morning.
Have you ever been to the United States?
I was posted to the Hungarian embassy in Washington for a year.
You knew perhaps the Armstrong family.
Armstrong? It is difficult to recall. One meets so many people.
닐 암스트롱.
It was the kidnapping of a child, a very sad affair. The culprit was the man on this train who called himself Ratchet, the one who was murdered last night.
Indeed. It sounds like justice finally caught up with him.
Thank you for your time. Now, I'd like to speak to your wife, if you don't mind.
It's impossible. As I told you, my wife is very ill. Thank you, and good luck with the investigation.
문쾅!
Eh bien, the good
수상해.
count does not appear to want me to talk to his wife.
아, 이거 해야 되는구나, 여기. 렛시 살인 사건이 벌어진 시간이고 살인자가 시계를 조작했을 수 있고 이거 아닐까? 이렇게 세 개?
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
살인자가 도망친 시간.
All the possibilities.
벌어지기 전에 고장 났을 수도 있겠다. 그러네.
Yes, there are only 3 possible hypotheses. The watch has
싸우다
been tampered with,
아니지.
or it is out of
몸싸움이
suggestion,
없었다 그랬잖아요.
or
수면제
it
먹고
indicates
죽어가지고.
the time of the murder. I shall explore these last 2
벌어지기
possibilities
전에
before reaching
왜
any
깨졌을까?
conclusion.
곤이 자고 있는데.
If the watch is out of adjustment, it may be broken. There may also be another reason related directly to Ratchet. Maybe the watch is
시계가
set
깨질
to
이유가
another
없지 않나?
time zone.
모순되는 정보? 어떻게 하면 시계 유리가 깨지기 전에 시계가 제대로 작동했다는 사실을 짐작할 수 있을까?
I do not think that's the right answer. The watch was not defective because the second hand is still moving. That's the right answer.
대단하세요. 레칫이 1시 15분에 죽었다면 다음 중 어떤 정보가 모순일까? 이거.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
12시 반에 이미 레칫은 정신이 없었어. 그때부터 그때 죽었는진 모르겠지만 아무튼 그때부터 계속 약 먹은 상태였나 봐. 이스탄불은 어느 시간대에 속할까? 모르겠는데?
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
헤. 아, 저기 써 있구나.
Good.
지금 오리엔트 특급 열차가 있는 시간대. 지금이
Good job.
어디지? 무슨 역이지?
If this theory is correct, then the murder took place at 12:15.
아, 시차 때문에 1시
I
15분이 아니라
interrogated all the
12시
passengers to
15분이구나.
see if any of them have an alibi for this hour.
알리바이가 겹치는 사람. 이 둘인가?
I must admit I'm not right this time.
아! 다시 해.
That's the right answer.
Yes. 다 알고 왔습니다. 문 여세요.
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
Very well, madam. I'll come back later. But you will need to speak to me.
수상하죠?
So, my friend, have you finished your investigation?
No, but I have managed to solve a few mysteries.
Okay. I stay here to watch this young lady.
Ah, Monsieur McQueen, may I ask you a question?
Anything I can do to help, Mr. Poirot?
This handkerchief embroidered with an H, is it yours?
No, I don't use cloth handkerchiefs.
그러면
Thank you. I won't bother you anymore.
살인 행커칩은 쓰나? 멧돼지? Call of the Wild. 잭란드? 수상하죠? Breath of the Wild. 애들 못 만나는 애들이 왜 이렇게 많지? 콘스탄틴이랑 얘기해야 되는데?
I am not prepared.
Very well, madam.
Very well. 여기 화장실에 있나? 어? 블랙베리 아니야?
Since I have seen one of those.
이렇게 막 만져도 되는 거야, 근데? 나도 옛날에 블랙베리 샀었지.
Hello. Can I do something for you?
Hello, Monsieur Hardman, I believe. You
Monsieur?
have heard of the murder?
Cyrus Hartman. Yes, and the fact that there's been a murder is all over the train.
You do not seem very concerned about it, monsieur.
It's not the first murder I've run across.
I had no idea the selling of toys was so dangerous. I did overhear you mention at dinner that this is your profession.
Toy salesman is a cover. I'm a private detective, just like you, from the U.S.
Damn. 30? 아니겠지, 55겠지. 그러네.
Et voilà. I did not expect to find another detective on this train.
I just finished a job in Istanbul when I received an email from Ratchet. He hired me to protect him.
Something you failed to do.
실패하셨네요.
I'm not happy about that. He'd received some threatening letters. I was supposed to watch his back, and yeah, something I failed to do.
죽길
He
바랬던 것
seemed to
같은데.
think he was in more danger when he left the train.
He was traveling to Paris?
I assume so, but I'm not entirely
누구
sure.
만나기로
Can
한
anyone on this train confirm
약속이
your
있었어가지고
identity?
Yeah, that
그거를
McQueen kid.
그때 죽는 줄
Ratchet's
알았나 보다.
secretary.
Were you on duty last night?
You bet. I kept my door open a crack and I watched all night. No one entered that car who didn't belong there.
Did you see anything in particular?
지켜봤대
The
다.
conductor, Michelle, he was there most of the time too, except for 15 minutes or so after we left Vinkovsky. He must have answered a call from Ratchet's room. Then he was absent again for a while around 1 a.m. After that, he didn't move until 5.
Monsieur Hardman, have you heard of the Armstrong case?
Armstrong? The kidnapping 3 or 4 years ago? Who hasn't? Why?
Ratchet's real name was Cassetti. I have reason to believe he was the kidnapper.
What? He killed that little girl? No, I didn't know.
몰랐대.
If I had known, I wouldn't have taken the job.
Did you have any idea who was behind the threatening letters?
I don't know his name, but Ratchet told me he was a small man. Dark hair, with a womanish kind of voice.
Oh, thank you for your help.
우머니씨?
Is this handkerchief embroidered with an H yours?
Do I look like the kind of guy who would use a handkerchief like that?
Thank you for answering my questions, Monsieur Hardman.
Listen, Poirot. I know I fell down on the job, but if you need help, any at all, let me know. I'd like to make it right.
넌 이제 망했어, 임마. 끝났어, 네 커리어는. 안녕하세요.
Madame Hubbard, may I ask you a question? or two?
Madame.
It won't take long.
Anything I can do to help?
Have you misplaced a handkerchief recently?
No, I don't think so. Why?
We found a handkerchief embroidered with the letter H, so I thought it might have been yours.
I'm sorry, but it's not. It may belong to Ms. Schmidt, Princess Dragomirov's lady's maid. I believe her first name
아니란데?
is Hildegard.
It is a possibility. Anyone could be lying, of course. I thank you, madame.
아니라고 하면 그만 아니야, 그죠? 도움 요청.
Monsieur, if I am to catch this murderer, I will need your help.
My help? I am at your service, Poirot.
그래도 사랑하시죠?
You are obviously a devoted husband, Count Andrini.
My wife means the world to me. There were questions in Budapest about a Hungarian diplomat marrying an American woman.
It did not deter you.
I would have given up my position for her. I would think it is universal. Are you married, Mr. Poirot?
No, I fear marriage is
Scout.
not for me. But her condition, is it very grave?
She is suffering a bout of vertigo. To
이석정
understand,
아니야?
the room spins.
콘스탄틴의 도움.
I think Dr. Constantine could help your wife.
There is a doctor on this train? I did not know. Where is this doctor?
몰랐대. 직접 데려오셔야 합니다.
I think Dr. Constantine is in the lounge car. If not, perhaps the conductor can tell you where he is.
Very well, I will find him. Thank you very much.
어머 한자씨다. 추베르.
네?
Forgive me for intruding, madame. I am Hercule Poirot.
I know who you are, Mr. Poirot. I overheard you send my husband on a wild goose chase.
Your husband cares for you greatly, madame. I apologize for exploiting that fact. But the situation is urgent, and I need to ask you a few questions.
Apology accepted. I realize you must speak to everyone. This horrendous murder. It's very upsetting.
That is
Murder.
a beautiful music box.
Please don't touch the music box. It's a fragile family heirloom.
Your
그렇게
accent,
말하니까
is it American?
더 만지고 싶은걸?
Boston, perhaps?
You have a good ear, Mr. Poirot. Yes. Born and raised in what we call the Back Bay.
Are you in the diplomatic service like your husband?
No, not officially. I was still in college when I met Rudy 2 years ago. I keep myself busy handling his scheduling, travel,
아, 저
appointments.
뒤에 저 수면제 있다.
What is this saying? Behind every great man there is a great woman.
That was the saying. Today one might reverse the sentiment as well, don't you think?
Of course, I stand corrected.
Behind great man. 무직. 21살밖에 안 됐대.
That was easy. A handkerchief embroidered with an H was found at the crime scene. By any chance, does your first name begin with an H?
No, my first name is Elena. with an
까비.
E.
Can you tell me what you did last night?
Well,
남편
my husband and
서른이었나
I went to
그랬을걸요?
dinner.
아닌가?
Then we came back here. We went to bed around 10 o'clock. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't because of the shaking of the train. I suffer from vertigo. I finally took a sleeping pill and that did the trick.
When did the train's motion prevent you from sleeping?
Between midnight and 2 a.m. I know because I must have looked at my watch about 10 times.
I see.
열차가 흔들렸다. 이거 거짓말이죠.
Come now, Countess. You are not telling me the
정차하고
truth.
있었으니까.
Why do you say that?
The train stopped at 12:30 a.m. due to snow. So there was no shaking of the train. But you told me that it was the shaking that prevented you from sleeping.
I don't know, you're confusing me. My vertigo.
Madame, a man
버티고
died
버텨.
last night. You can't talk nonsense just because you're sick. You are hiding something from me.
How dare you? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to find my husband.
어이없네. 썩낸 놈이 방귀 끼네?
And I know, but my strategy worked. I can now inspect this room in peace.
다 노리고 한 거였어. 방 구경 좀 해볼까? 이게 만지면 안 된다고 이거를? 이걸 왜 만지면 안 되는데? 에? 이렇게 만지면 되는 거 아니야?
쿵쿵꾸지지.
코스티안님 구독 감사합니다.
It's closed.
어디 보자. 새 장미 나뭇잎 새 이게 장미야?
It's closed.
장미 새 나뭇잎 새
It's closed.
오. 이것도 외워야 되는 것 같은데? 도 사진 핸드폰으로 사진 찍어놓을까? 잠깐만요. 헷갈려. 이거 같아. 이거야. 에? 에? 여기 모양이 있네. 음표, 별, 우주. 이건 뭐야? 해. 이거, 우연치 않게 맞췄는데? 오!
An engraving written in, I believe,
핫한
Russian Cyrillic. It looks like a first name.
H네. 사탄? 와. 나탈리아라고 읽는다고요? 사탄이 아니라요? 그럴 수가. 사탄인 줄. 깨치비 책 읽고 있네. 지가 무슨 깨치비라도 되는 줄 알아? 슬리핑 필.
These must be the sleeping pills that Countess Andreni took last night.
야, 저런 멋있는 가보가 있다니. 이제 다 봤겠지? 다 안 봤나? 한 번 더 봐야 되나? 이걸 안 봤네.
For my beautiful young ladies, Helena and Sonia. Helena with an H.
헬레나.
It's Countess Andreni with an older girl.
Poirot! Have you no shame?
Monsieur, I am afraid shame is not a very
지금
helpful emotion
부끄럽다고
for a
하셨나요?
detective trying to get at the truth.
What are you doing in our compartment?
I am investigating a murder, Count Andreni.
My wife is ill.
My apologies, monsieur, but your wife seemed in perfect health when she left the room to find you. I do apologize, but I needed to search your
영장
compartment.
없지만
You will regret this,
수색하겠습니다.
Poirot.
Please, Count. You aren't going to challenge me to a duel, are you? Countess, I'm afraid I took the liberty of inspecting your little music box.
How dare you?
The message in the medallion was addressed
다
to
봤어.
you and Sonia. Sonia Armstrong. Your older sister? The mother of Daisy, the murdered child.
그렇구나.
I am a Hungarian diplomat. You have no official standing here. You have no right
동생이었어.
to search.
No, Rudolph. Let me speak. It's useless to deny what this
그
gentleman
죽은
says.
엄마.
I am Helena Goldenberg, the sister of Sonia Armstrong, and Daisy was my niece. The music box is a gift from my sister's godmother, a very close friend to my mother. We hid the truth
대박.
from you when we learned that the man killed last night was the person who destroyed my family. I panicked. I didn't want to be accused.
That is also why you lied about the H in your first name?
Exactly. Your ferreting about looking for the H is obviously part of your investigation.
If I found a handkerchief in Monsieur Ratchet's room embroidered with an H, I might suspect you had been there.
A handkerchief? I don't have any handkerchiefs embroidered with my initial. To be honest, that sounds awfully old-fashioned to me.
I give you my word of
그러시구나.
honor that last night, Helena never left her compartment. My wife is telling you the truth, Poirot.
I hope so. I'll let you rest.
야, 이건 너무 나았네.
The matter of the H on the handkerchief
동기가
still needs
나왔다.
clearing up. But first I should check the
맹햄군님
inscription
32개월
on
구독
the
감사해요.
back
생일
of
너무
the
축하해요. 10월 24일 생일 축하 누츠키. 어떻게 이런 가슴 아픈 일이. 생일 축하해요. 데이지. 네? 푸아로의 러시아어 지식을 활용해 판화를 번역하자? 저게 거꾸로 쓴 건가? RNNATAH 라나타 라나타 아니야? 라나타? 라나타네. 답 나왔네. 이렇게 보여주네. H A는 그냥 A고 T A N 나탈리드 R 모양이 되게 특이하네. 나탈리아. 네, 나탈리아네.
Natalia.
어머!
Natalia. Would it
그
be
할머니 아니야?
Natalia Dragomirov? She is the only Russian passenger on the train. In addition, her first name begins with an H in Cyrillic.
소름.
I'm right again.
여러분 몰랐죠? 저게
That
나탈리아인지
happens to me
어떻게
a lot.
알았어? 와. 내 러시아어 지식이 아니었다면 몰랐을 서프라이즈 뉴스였네. 와우. 야, 대박. 대박이네. 근데 채팅창에 나탈리아예요 라고 초친 사람 잣 강퇴시켜.
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
I'm sorry, madam, but a man has been murdered.
문 열어!
I must ask you a few questions.
You must have misunderstood me. I cannot speak to you just now.
Madame, I know that Sonia Armstrong is your goddaughter.
Come in, please.
와, 다 연관돼 있어, 데이지랑.
Please forgive my intrusion, madame, but I really must ask you some questions.
Then ask. I'll answer if it pleases me.
You've not been properly introduced. Yet I have observed her a couple of times, so I can already deduce some things about her.
댐댐이? 러시아. 관장? 아, 정치인. 26.
Must admit I'm not right this time.
정치인이 아니라 박물관 관장인가? 아하. 85.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. I will first ask you about last night. Will you tell me your movements?
I went to bed just after dinner. I read until 11, then tried to sleep. Later I woke.
What caused you to awaken?
I suffered from back pain, a consequence of old age interfering with an active life. I called Schmidt around 12:45 a.m. to give me a massage. She did so until I fell asleep.
How long was she with you?
A good hour, I would say.
I see. The first initial of your first name, Natalia, in the Cyrillic alphabet looks exactly like the letter H in the Latin alphabet.
I'm Russian, Monsieur Poirot, and I was the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg for decades, until I moved to Berlin recently. I'm familiar with Cyrillic.
이거
This
당신 거지?
handkerchief is yours, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I lost it.
It was
맞아.
found in
아까 그 젊은
Monsieur
애가 촌스럽다 그런 거
Ratchet's
보니까
room. Can you
나이 많은 사람
explain to
취향이
me
맞았네.
why Madame Schmidt didn't identify the handkerchief? She must have known it was yours.
손가락질
Possibly
좀
to
그만해.
protect me. She is very loyal. Your next question will be, how did my handkerchief come to be lying by a murdered man's body? My reply to that is that I have no idea.
That is not an answer, madame.
It is all I am able to give
내
you.
손에 왜 피가 묻어 있는지 궁금하지? 모르겠어요. 우리 집에서 왜 살인 도구가 나왔지? 모르겠어요. 왜 사건 현장에서 내 DNA가 나왔지? 모르겠어요. 이러면은 법정 가면 유죄 받습니다.
I must tell you, Princess Dragomirov, I have discovered something astonishing.
And that is?
You are Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
You make that sound like a revelation. I have never hidden the fact, monsieur.
You knew Colonel Armstrong well, then?
I knew him slightly, but his wife, Sonia Armstrong,
개녀?
was my goddaughter. I was on terms of friendship with her mother, the actress Linda Arden. Linda Arden was a genius, one of the greatest tragic actresses in the world. I was not only an admirer of her art, I was a personal friend.
Very well. But this links you to the Armstrong kidnapping case. Elena Andreni is the sister of Sonia
이름이 너무 많이
Armstrong, the
나오네.
late mother of Daisy Armstrong,
아무튼
kidnapped
간에.
and killed by the man who was murdered on this train,
그래.
Ratchet.
Indeed. Was it he? Then justice has at last been served.
Allow me to summarize.
Do I have a choice?
First coincidence, I shall call it. You are close
이거
to the
완전
Armstrong family, and the presumed
조직범죄네,
assassin of
조직범죄.
Daisy Armstrong was killed while you were on board the same train. Second coincidence, your handkerchief happens to be found at the foot of the victim's bed. Third coincidence, One of the stab wounds inflicted on the body was by a left-handed person. You are
그래?
left-handed. That is a lot of coincidences, Princess Dragomirov.
Well, Monsieur Poirot, call it fate. If you report to the
될 대로
police
되라네,
your
거의.
coincidences, they will laugh. A woman of my age and frailty has violently murdered a man? With how many potential witnesses who saw me doddering along the corridor in the middle of the night like Lady Macbeth?
You are right, Princess. You could not work alone, which means you have one or more accomplices. And it is only a matter
그래,
of time
할머니가
before
그렇게
I find
깊은
out
자상을
who they
낼
are.
I
정도로
would appreciate it
세게
if you would remove yourself from my
찌르진
room
못했을
and
것
take your
같아.
fantasies with you.
그래서 얕은 상처는 왼손잡이가 내고 깊은 상처는 오른손잡이가 냈나 보다.
Привет! Привет!
앵무다 앵무. 구간조.
미디어 무단 횡령 입장에서 지금 가장 범인일 때 재밌을 것 같은 인물이 누구인가요?
푸아로. 푸아로가 알고 보니까 범인인 거야. 코스염 이게 알고 보니까 칼이야. 칭 해가지고 이거를 촥 표창처럼 던지면은 칵 박히는 거지. 알리바이가 겹치는 사람.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
튜비야 당신 그럼 못 써?
브라호. 감사합니다.
That's the right answer.
이거 크라임씬 에피소드로 나와도 재밌겠다. 그럼 내가 부크 연기 잘할 수 있는.
Oh, Poirot, you're there.
포!
She hasn't moved.
드디어
She
저거
seems to be
포!
waking up little by little. What about you? Your investigation progresses?
I find myself helping everyone with their problems before they can help me with mine. I have shifted boxes, helped with hangover,
크라임씬 새 시즌 나온다고 본 거 같은데 기스?
unlocked some Russian dolls. Also, my
내년에
investigation
나온대요?
can proceed.
Don't forget the dessert recipe.
How can I?
Truly, the labors of Hercules.
My friend, I would rather clean out the Orgeon stables. Yet,
촬영
I
벌써
have managed
시작했어요?
to solve a few mysteries.
Oh, tell me everything.
The embroidered handkerchief belongs to Princess Dragomirov. I also found out that she was Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
On the same train with the little girl's murderer?
Exactly. Also, Elena Andreni is the younger
근데 둘이 왜
sister
모른
of
척하지?
Sonia.
너무 먼 친척인가?
Daisy's mother.
Another passenger connected to the Armstrong case?
Yes, Book. What are
이게
the
말이
odds, do
되나?
you think? But I cannot see either woman stabbing Ratchet over and
아,
over
우와.
again in a
장진도
frenzy. And they
홍-
apparently have
걔는 안 나오.
alibis.
그 사람 안 나오네.
I had three theories
홍진호?
concerning the broken watch. It could have been tampered with. It could have been out of adjustment before the murder. Or,
홍진호
of
씨.
course, it could indicate the actual time of the murder. The only hypothesis I could rule out was that the watch was out of adjustment. For the others, they are impossible to verify. So the watch is of little use to the investigation.
And I was convinced that it indicated the time of the crime. Two women involved in the Armstrong
게스트로
case.
나와줬으면
Let
좋겠어.
us not forget our patient here. There are three women.
Look, she seems to be waking up.
일어난다 일어난다.
What's happening to me? Did I fall asleep
약이
again?
얼마나 센
Indeed,
거야?
Mademoiselle Locke. Did you take any medication? Sleeping pills, for example?
No. I never use sleeping pills.
I inspected your cup. You can clearly see that there is a residue of something at the bottom. I'm sure a lab test would confirm you were drugged. Most likely an overdose. That would explain your battle to shake off the effects.
You think Fräulein Schmidt did it?
She certainly had the most opportunity, but why would she?
But no one knew who I was. It's impossible that someone
아는 거
deliberately
아니야?
targeted me.
수사 담당이었던 형사의 정보도 이미 알고 있는 거 아니야?
I do not think that's the right answer.
왜 아니야? 음식을 만들어준 사람이면 이 사람인가?
I must admit I'm not right.
왜 아니야? 아니면은
No.
아니야?
No.
누구야?
This is wrong.
모르겠는데.
Think what?
에?
I don't.
다 찍었는데?
Fräulein Schmidt
Eh?
or Monsieur Michel
왜?
may have drugged the tea that Mademoiselle Locke drank. Fräulein Schmidt or Pierre Michel
사장이
could
왜?
have drugged your tea. They are really the only two people on this train who could have done it. But why would either one do it?
Mr. Poirot, I'm feeling much better. I'd like to bring you up to date to why I ended up on this train.
If you are able, I would very
얘기
much
스토리
like
타임이야,
you
또.
to finish your story.
Very well then. After the Daisy Armstrong case was officially closed, I put out a standing request to the police departments in the Boston area for anything on Michael Clark. But he didn't turn up on their radar.
Michael?
I even set up an anonymous tip line for news about Clark. That's how I met Braid, a sketchy contact on the dark web, but they found nothing I could use.
모든 증거가 하나로.
4 long years
너무
passed without
성의
any
없는 거 아니야
lead.
저 보드? 너무
Every
뭐가
day
없는데?
I looked at the evidence board I put up in my apartment bedroom. Then this morning, a police report landed on my desk that changed everything. I paid a
지금
visit to the
살인
police
소설인데?
property room and took home a box full of clues. There was his name. Michael Clark.
미국은 신분 세탁하기도 엄청 좋던데.
A bill from the power company with, I'm sure, plenty of excuses why my rates keep going up.
별것도 아니고. 일생에 한 번뿐인 여행, 전설의 오리엔트 특급 열차가 140주년을 맞이합니다. 헉, 지금이잖아. 포르투나가 오리엔트 특급 열차의 140주년 기념일을 공식 후원합니다. 아까 그 아저씨잖아.
Travel. For the discriminating traveler. Also for the overworked detective who never seems to have time for vacation. Well, I can dream, can't I? Years of no new leads in the Armstrong case, and then this. Michael Clark, the sarcastic reporter, my prime suspect in the kidnapping, murdered 4 years ago?
What? 이미 4년 전에 죽은
This is
사람이었잖아.
Michael Clark? He doesn't look anything like the journalist I interviewed. Michael, you have earned a place on my evidence board.
와우. 총알 한 발에 의한 흉부 총상으로 사망했다. 보스턴? 야, 무섭네.
Suzanne's hair, so conveniently left in the cabin for us to find. It was planted.
일부러
I knew she was innocent.
심었대. 머리카락도 이거 술병도 일부러 심었네 그러면. 불쌍한 수잔.
So clever. All that evidence and yet no DNA found.
와.
The only fingerprints found on the bottle were Suzanne's.
와, 노아라는 애는 누구지 그러면? 노아는 살아있는 거
The
아니야?
lab team found this keychain in the cabin, but they wouldn't have bothered to examine the keys
젊은
once the DA
애일
shut
텐데,
down the
그죠?
investigation. The keys were just tossed in the evidence box along with everything else. It's too unusual not to demand a closer look.
아이씨. 누가 이런 걸로 키링을 합니까? 잠깐만. 망했죠? 나 이런 퍼즐 진짜 못하는 것 같아. 저 그것도 루브릭 큐브도 못하거든요. 아 원점이네. 아 루브릭 큐브래. 루미 큐브. 루미 박물관. 됐다 됐다. 왜 이렇게 됐지? 왜 이렇게 됐어? 아 웃겨. 왜 이렇게 됐지? 아니 궁금하네? 왜 이렇게 됐을까? 아 됐다 됐다. 됐다 됐다. 쉽네.
A USB key. Let's plug it into my PC and see what nasty little secret it contains. fluffy. Daisy's plush toy.
여기 뭐 더 없겠지? 게시판에 있는 아이템 2개를 연결. 어? 지방검사 은퇴? 은퇴했어. 그 비서 아버진가가 담당 검사라고 그랬었는데. 롤스로이스 이럴 수가. 와. 문신이 있었네? 자살했어?
I knew it! The faces don't match at all. They are clearly two different men. I should run facial recognition on my computer.
충격이다. 집안이. 와. 풍비박산 났네.
I've read it probably 10 times already. But I can't get enough of it. Don't know why. Maybe because it helps me sleep?
모비딕. 어!
I don't have time to waste on magazines.
데이지. 만난 적은 없지만.
I know I have to stop printing. It's bad for the planet. Okay, the real Michael Clark has been dead for years. Let's see if the photo of the fake Michael Clark matches someone in the database of known criminals.
Wow.
I've tried this several times in the past few years, but came up empty. Maybe whoever he really is has finally made a mistake.
근데 얘랑도 닮았는데?
No, that doesn't look like him.
아니야?
That could be him, but he looks pretty different.
코.
Yes, he seems different at first glance, but still, it's the same person.
머리.
That's it. Good.
He's changed his appearance a lot. Probably had some plastic surgery on his nose, but there is no
성형했구나.
doubt it's the same person. Let's see why he was arrested.
세미얼 레칫 2023년 11월 23일. 재판이 열리는구나. 절도로 체포됐었대요.
Mr. Ratchet, you didn't just steal statuettes. What recent information does the database have on you?
그러게 안에 뭐 숨겼나?
It's so frustrating. I have a name, but I can't find anything about him. But I know just who to call.
정보가 너무 없어. 저 신분도 가짜인가 봐. 사미얼 레칫이란 이름도 가짜 아니야?
Robot Defense League, we are monitoring this call.
Hello, Braid. Long time.
Oh, Joanna. Hey, how may I assist you?
I need you to search the dark web.
Yeah, can you narrow that down a little? Because it's pretty big and pretty dark out here.
Could you find intel about a Samuel Ratchet?
Samuel Ratchet. Got it. Bad dude?
They don't come worse. Send me what you find by email.
Alright, hang on. Okay. Yeah, uh-huh. Okay, nope. And... okay. Oh, this might be something. I gotta do a deeper dive, but you should find this interesting. Could be
그냥
coincidence.
구글에 친 거 아니야? 페이스북에 친 거 아니야?
Emailing details.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
We're here to save mankind.
구리다.
Oh, it's a cookbook.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. 이게 USB 드라이버였다고?
Shaved off the metro beard. But I'd recognize that smug
와,
bastard
처음
anywhere.
만났을
The
때
man I interviewed 4
그냥 진짜
years
기자인 줄
ago,
알았는데
posing
난.
as Michael Clark. This goes on the board.
돈 사진? 어? 저 타투!
Maybe they needed to show the ransom to someone, to check if the serial numbers were still on record. I'll print them, and on the wall they go.
어떻게 된 거지? 저 기자도 협박했었나? 헥터 맥퀸.
The Orient Express. I'm gonna print these tickets and put them on the board.
세뮤엘 레치.
The Orient Express. I'm gonna print these tickets and
이거를
put them on the
그
board.
이름으로 찾았구나.
Absolutely nothing on this Cassetti. His driver's license is almost surely a fake.
무섭네. 어우.
Goodbye, Michael Clark. Hello, Samuel Ratchet, the man who stole your identity and your life.
And your life.
This tattoo is the same on both pictures.
데이지 유괴범이라고? 공범을 죽였구나. 그 노아를 죽였나 보네? 나 얘가 그 아신원 불명 총살 피해자가 기자인 줄 알았는데 노아인가 봐?
So, Ratchet's real name was Cassetti.
So you had run away.
얘도 총 맞아 죽긴 했는데. 오리엔트 특급 열차.
These tickets were all booked by McQueen.
이게 연결하는 게 무슨 의미인가 싶네. 왜 이렇게 배치를 해놨어 그리고? 뭐야 이게? 왜 이렇게?
This is Ratchet's ticket.
헥터!
The person traveling with Ratchet has the same last name as my district attorney during the Armstrong case?
아버지에 대한 복수? 이제 된 거 아니야? 어?
A gold mustache. Thank you very much.
헥터 맥퀸 찾아볼 수 있구나.
I knew it. He's the son of my former DA. He goes on the evidence board.
너도 딱 걸렸다 야. 아주 이게 보드가 어쩐지 너무 허전하더라. 내가 채워야 돼서.
Here's what Hector McQueen looks like. Hector McQueen is the son of District Attorney McQueen.
헥터 맥퀸. 이제 이거 말고 이제 없지 않나?
The Orient Express departs from Istanbul next week. Interesting.
아이씨,
I'll put it on the board.
딱 걸렸죠. 야, 푸아호는 잘못 걸렸네. 괜히 타가지고.
Next week, a certain Edward Masterman will be on the Orient Express.
에드워드.
Ratchet will be traveling on the Orient Express in a week.
여기서 레칫을 드디어 잡을 수 있어. 근데
Hector McQueen will be on the Orient Express
법으로
next week.
어떻게 잡을 수가 없지 않나? 이미 케이스도 다 끝났고 피해자도 다 자살해버려가지고. 살인... 이거 총살했다는 증거가 나오지도 않았는데. 이 신원. 이 집회 이거 뭐 시리얼 넘버 조사해본다 그러지 않았나? 이게 연결이 되네? 에? 실이 많은가 봐. 헥터? 아니 쟤는 노아 노아 같아요. 그 공범. 데이지 유괴범.
The event? Some old train. But that face, that man.
뭐야? 또 찢어? 뭐지? 제가 마스터문인가? That man. 어디서 봤대? 설마 얘도
I know that face. That's John Armstrong.
What? 전혀 몰랐는데? 헐. 와, 이렇게 이어지네? 이거 완전 크라임씬이야. 암스트롱 운전자라 그랬다고요? 그래? 언제? 소름. 다 같이 밤에 나왔다가 만났어. 칼 들고 나왔다가 야, 너도? 나도. 그래서 그렇게 자상이 많았구나. 와, 소름이다. 이렇게 연결될 줄이야. 와, 어떻게 야, 얘는 다 짜여진 판에 지가 스스로 들어가 버렸네. 헥터가 비서로 여기 열차 예매한 다음에 헥터가 전화를 돌렸지. 아, 네네네, 그때 만나요. 네, 잘 부탁드립니다. 네, 이러고. 헥터가 친절한 헥터 씨였네. 와. 그래서 만석이었구나. 아, 그래서 자리가 없었구나. 걔는 왜 안 왔지, 그러면? 그 노쇼한 애 있었는데. 쩔었다. 찢었다. 와.
I know I have to stop.
푸아호는 거기 왜 갑자기 와가지고는. 그냥 있는 기준을 모르겠네.
As Ratchet is alive, the dead man can only be Noah.
아, 이제 알았네. 얘가 노아라는 게 확실해졌다. 레칫이 살아있기 때문에 피해자는 노아. 돈 지 혼자 가지려고 죽였나 보다. 와, 어떻게 이렇게 진짜 뼛속까지 범죄자일 수가. 얘랑 얘 연결하래.
Foscarelli will be on the Orient Express next week.
오케이. 아, 이제 다 했다.
Damn, Ratchet is taking the Orient Express next week. McQueen, the district attorney's son, is too. Foscarelli, the Armstrong chauffeur, is too. It can't be a coincidence. McQueen and Foscarelli must have decided to take revenge and will undoubtedly attack Ratchet on this train. I have to be on the Orient Express to stop them. And above all, I must stop Ratchet. But I can't do it in Istanbul because there's no extradition treaty with the United States. Ratchet can never be judged in the US without an extradition treaty. I'll have to wait until he's in Paris to have him arrested.
얘는 다 계획이 있었어. 피해자들이 살인 못하게 하고 레칫을 파리에서 체포하는 게 계획이었는데, 근데 이걸 어떻게 알고 얘한테 약을 먹였지? 세상에. 빨리 티켓 예약해. 누가 봤나 보다. 감시하고 있는 거 열차에서.
Every compartment is taken for this special anniversary journey. Oh, it's impossible to find a ticket. What can I do? I could try to get on the train without a ticket, but I could end up arrested. And Ratchet could get away or get murdered. No, there's a better way. Let's find out who's traveling on the Orient Express. Time to call Braid.
중고 거래 하려다가 신분 들켰나?
Braid! It's me again.
I haven't found anything useful yet.
I need one last favor. But it's a big one.
Uh-oh.
Can you find me the list of passengers of the Orient Express for that anniversary trip?
Hold on. Jeez, their IT is surprisingly good. Maybe because of the big event. I found the list, but they sealed my
브레이드는
back door and I
그냥
was starting to capture it.
정보통이래요.
Oh no.
Whoa, calm down. I got one name. Female. The name I got before they kicked me off the server was Stacy Johnson. Do you feel like a Stacy Johnson?
The question is, how is she going to feel about helping me?
That's one you'll have to figure out for yourself. I gotta go back to
Stacy
weaving my
Johnson?
magic on the web.
그런 이름이 있었나? 네. 놓친 게 있다고요? 놓친 게 이렇게나 많다고? 아! 1 7이네. 이런 것도 다 뭐가 있었네. 1 2 3 4 5 6 6이랑 9를 반대로 눌렀나 내가? 아, 눌러야 되는 숫자가 다 눌러야 되는 게 아니라 정해진 것만 눌러야 되나 보다. 어? 다 뭐가 뭐지?
What do they call this? Brass knuckles? Knuckle dusters? Illegal in Massachusetts. Possession alone can lead to serious jail time.
아, 퍼즐 키링이요. 뻑큐. 3, 5, 6, 9. 와, 이런 것도 다 가짜야.
A key knife. They sell them on the internet for self-protection.
3, 5, 6, 9?
What do we find? A capsule and a smell. Bitter almonds. Cyanide.
소름이네. 뭐야? 이제 뭐 만들 수 있는 게 없나 보지? 그 범인들이 가지고 있었던 것 같은데. 됐다.
What do we have here? A flashlight. They can also conceal knives, but in this case we
야,
have
완전 범죄자
lockpicks.
키링이구만. 범죄자 종합 세트구만 이거 완전. 근데 좀 이쁘다, 그죠? 좀 탐나네. 이제 끝났다. 증거물 수색. 스타이스 존슨. 누구야? 98년생? 배우? 아까 그 할머니가 칭찬했던 배우인가?
Hello. Is this Stacy Johnson?
Who's asking?
기자라 그러면 안 돼. 형사. 기자라 그래.
I'm a journalist for a major online site.
I've had it with journalists. I'm hanging up. Goodbye.
Wait.
저는 형사입니다.
My name is Joanna Locke. I'm a police detective.
And I'm just an actress. Now what did I do wrong?
Nothing. I need your help. I need to take your place in the Orient Express.
Is this a joke? No way.
위협해.
I can get an arrest warrant if you don't cooperate.
You gonna pull it out of your hat? I've done nothing wrong. Lately. I'm hanging up. Goodbye.
Wait.
아, 다 틀려.
Do you remember the Armstrong kidnapping?
Of course I do. That poor little girl.
I'm a police officer. I have a new lead that may help me find her killer.
Wait. Didn't they prove it was the nanny?
I have found compelling new evidence. I've reopened my investigation.
You know, It's about the murderous nanny. I played a nanny a couple years ago in a slasher. I was killed in the first episode, but it got me interested in helping kids.
그런 건 관심 없어요.
I'm glad, but it doesn't help me get on the train.
No, it doesn't. You could just be interested in your career. I'm hanging up. Goodbye.
Wait. Stacy,
어떤
please.
상황인지
You say you
아시리라
help kids?
믿습니다.
I joined a couple of associations who are trying to help underprivileged kids. If this little girl's real killer is still out there somewhere, I'd do anything I could to help.
Getting me on that train will help more than you can imagine.
So, you want my ticket for the Orient Express? But I booked it months ago. I was so much looking forward to this trip.
부드럽게 대응.
Stacy, I can tell you care about kids. Here's your chance to help put this beast in prison for the rest of his life. Think of the publicity for those causes you care about. Think about the kids.
The kids? Yeah. All right. We'll do it for Daisy.
휴, 돈 굳었다.
I'll take care of changing the tickets to your name and send it to you. Get him. Make him pay.
I will. Thank you so much.
근데 어떻게 하다가 몰래 들어가게 됐지?
Stacy was as good as her word. I received the ticket. I called my chief to let him know I was taking my vacation time. I had coming. I flew to Istanbul. I was finally going to nail the monster responsible for Daisy Armstrong's death, Michael Clark's death, even his accomplice, and, I suspected, so many others as well. You know the rest.
(17일) 7시 해졌네.
And that's how I found myself on this train. On Ratchet's trail. The rest, you
솔직하게
know.
얘기 공유해
My
주셔서
identity is easily
감사합니다.
checked with the Berkshire Police.
Thank you for your detailed account, Mademoiselle Locke. In addition to giving us crucial details of the investigation, you have made it clear that there are many who might wish to see Ratchet dead. I
무고하죠?
know you are innocent. Your forthright testimony and your movements
체포하려고 그랬잖아요. 죽이는 게 아니라.
last night eliminate you from our list of suspects.
I agree, without a doubt. Another detective will be great help to the investigation.
Book.
Although my friend certainly does not need any help.
You are too kind.
Thank you for believing me. I'd like to help in any way I can.
Do not worry, Mademoiselle Locke. Already I see things more clearly.
그래요?
It's
나는 안
obvious
보이는데?
whoever drugged you was trying to derail
경찰인 거 일단
your
알았어.
investigation.
그래서
You mean the
약물
person who
끼고
did this to
방해
me is
못하게
Ratchet's killer?
하려고.
Both Monsieur Michel and Fraulein Schmidt had the means and opportunity to drug you. While you get your strength back, I intend to interview them.
마이클이랑 슈미트?
Excellent idea, my friend. All this excitement has whetted my appetite. I'm sure Mademoiselle
미첼이랑
Locke won't say no
슈미트?
to a good, invigorating meal.
What? No. I want to hear what the conductor and Fräulein Schmidt have to say for themselves.
It is my duty to ensure the well-being of the passengers. If Dr. Constantine has no objection, I will escort you to the restaurant car.
On the contrary, some food will do her the greatest good.
Well, I'm still a little shaky.
좀
Mr.
출출하긴
Poirot,
하네요.
will you please keep me informed about what you learn?
꺼러러러러?
You may be certain of it.
나는 밥도 안 먹이고. 지겨워.
All that snow.
Are you familiar with the concept of entropy, Monsieur McQueen?
Oh, Mr. Poirot, I didn't see you. Entropy? Randomness in a system or something?
Yes, unpredictability. Even the best laid plans
못
can
돌아가는
go
줄
astray, thanks to something as simple as...
An unexpected passenger?
Perhaps. Or snow.
예상치 못한 승객. 푸아호.
Are you all right, Mr. Poirot? And Ms. Locke? Has she had symptoms again?
진짜
I didn't
다
mean to
같이
disturb you, Doctor. Everything progresses
판
satisfactorily.
깐 건 맞는 것 같아.
Book is a collector, and not surprisingly, he collects trains.
근데 너무 편하게 죽인 것 같아. 한방 약간 의식은 있는데 몸이 안 움직이는 그런 마취를 한 게 아닐까? 콘스탄틴도 알고 보니까 한패여서 그런 약물을 먹인 거지. 고통을 천천히 느낄 수 있게. 고통 음미.
I have nothing to ask them at the moment. I should leave them alone.
둘이 분위기 좋아. 미첼 어디 갔어?
Good evening, Fräulein Schmidt. May
네가
I
먹였지?
disturb you for a moment?
You asked so politely, mein Herr, but I do not think I have a choice.
로크 씨에게 수면제를 먹였더군요.
I know you drugged Mademoiselle Locke's tea. Don't try to deny it.
Nevertheless, I do deny it.
Nevertheless.
I wanted to let you know that your roommate, Mademoiselle Locke, is awake.
Ah, yes, I'm glad to hear that. I was worried about her. Did she tell you what had happened to her?
로크 씨가 다 봤어.
She saw you pour something in her tea.
And she drank the tea knowing it was drugged? Come now, Monsieur Poirot. The poor girl is obviously still not recovered. That is all I intend to say. If you'll excuse me, I would like to continue reading my book.
What is it?
뭐지?
A murder mystery, perhaps?
대학생인가?
No. It is a collection of Julia Child recipes.
컵에 잔여물이 남아있더군요.
Unfortunately, she doesn't remember much, but we found a residue of a sleeping pill in her cup of tea. Since you two were alone together in your room when she drank it, who else but you could have dragged her?
Must I point out I do not make the tea on this train? You should question the conductor or the kitchen staff.
당신은 수면제를 얘 갖고 없잖아. 로크 씨가 죽을 뻔했어요.
Mademoiselle Locke could have died. Whoever drugged her must not feel any empathy for their fellow human beings, given the dose that Mademoiselle Locke ingested. She was close to death.
Oh my God. What did I do? I didn't want to hurt her. Just have her sleep for a few hours while we had time.
We? Time
We?
for what? Time for what, Madame Schmidt?
You think I feel nothing? Nothing? That poor little girl.
Indeed, that poor
Daisy.
little girl. Fräulein Schmidt is somehow connected to the Armstrong case.
보좌관이었나? 아, 요리책을 보고 있었으니까 요리사? 걔 억지? 오!
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. Fräulein Schmidt, I have a certain reputation for sniffing out.
I am not a murderer.
Forgive me, but I was going to say
살인자 아니에요.
brilliant chefs. You were the Armstrong family's cook, were you not?
Yes. I was the cook of that lovely family.
백종원이었구나.
I'm sorry, but I must ask you to give me some time to collect myself. It wasn't supposed to be like this. My darling, my poor darling child.
I will give you
그럼
that time
데이지도
for
아는
You have
사이였겠네.
given
그
me
집 안에서
much
요리하는
more in
요리사였으면.
exchange. I must check in with my other suspects to make
이거,
certain
이거,
I have
이거,
all
이거.
the pieces of the puzzle in my possession.
Can I get you something, Monsieur Poirot? Everyone is so tense.
An aperitif soon, Monsieur Fauché, with
한잔 해야
pleasure,
되는 거 아니냐고.
when the matter is resolved.
맛있어?
You're right, Mr. Book. This dessert is delicious. I'm
신났네.
glad we didn't wait for dinner.
I promise the entrée will be superb as well.
Detective Locke, you are recovering well, I see.
확실히
Yes.
먹으니까 힘이
I
나나
should
봐.
be helping with the investigation. Do you know who drugged me?
It is early yet for conclusions. When I return, then we shall see.
Do not worry, Poirot. She is in good hands. Hotaru, Freya, and yours truly are looking after her.
아니 이 아저씨 몇 그릇을 처먹은 거야 이 아저씨. 겁나 많이 처먹었어. 저 생글생글 웃고 있는 거 봐. 개웃기네. 이런 디테일이 있을
You're
줄이야.
right, Mr. Book. I'm glad we.
Detective.
Yes.
It is
Do not Hotaru.
고생했다 얘들아. 아싸.
Haha! Golden mustache.
Not now! Not now! I have a dinner to prepare. Would you interrupt Michelangelo or Da Vinci?
말하는 건 뒤통수 그냥 미첼 어디 갔어 미첼. 하이.
Good evening, Michel. Am I bothering you? You seem stressed.
With everything that's going on, I must admit it's difficult to be relaxed.
Of course, I understand. Especially since we know that Detective Locke's tea was drugged before it was served to her.
Detective?
Come now, Michel. Surely you would have taken
Detective?
the opportunity
모른
to
척하네?
search her things and found her
경사님이라고요?
badge. Luckily, she woke up and was finally able to tell us her story.
Hotaru boiled the water, Jean made the tea. I just brought it. Sir, it could have been any of the staff.
Your defense is to accuse others?
비난해.
You have a network connection?
No, unfortunately. It's just an automatic reminder to pay my rent. I always forget, and my landlord complains.
Michel be involved in the murder. The drugged tea, his post at the end of the hall.
수잔이 프랑스
I
사람이고 어머니가
know
돌아가셨고.
why. I know more than one of those people.
와
in the
이때 알림이 뜨네. 수잔 아버지 가족인가 봐.
Good.
웬일이야.
Brilliant.
야 사람 이게 유머 사망 하니까 그냥 끝이 아니라 그 사람이랑 관련된 가족들이 나오니까 더 뭔가 리얼한 것 같아. 더 실제로 막 있는 진짜 사람들 같아. 사람 하나가 죽으면은 그 주변에 몇 명한테 영향이 가는 거야 지금. 죽을만 했다. 아주. 어머 오른쪽에 쟤는 누구야? 하드먼 아니야?
I'm right again.
쟤는 왜 있냐?
Happens to me a lot. You are the father of Suzanne Moreau, Daisy Armstrong's nanny. My condolences on the death of your wife.
What? But my wife...
Enough lies. Suzanne does
거짓말
not
너무
bear your name.
못하신다.
Suzanne's mother and I were divorced. Suzanne kept her mother's name.
My most sincere condolences, Monsieur Michel,
누가
on the
애도를
deaths of Suzanne and your
이러면서
wife.
표해요.
I loved them, but I was never there for them. Then a year after the divorce,
애도를
Solange became ill. Suzanne
애도를
took her to this special hospital in the US.
표합니다.
Got that job as
어?
Daisy's
누가
nanny.
애도를 저렇게 표해?
I understand your pain and the reason that led you to drug Detective Locke.
We really can't hide anything from you, can we?
Many have been
자기의-
foolish enough to try and keep the truth from Hercule Poirot.
Yes, I admit,
뭐
I
오만하네
drank the
말하던
tea. But it was only to keep her quiet until I could... But she reacted so much to
말
the
실수했다
sleeping
지금
pills.
She
위라고.
was lucky as
약을
you.
왜 이렇게 많이 탔어?
didn't die.
사람 잡을
There
뻔했잖아요.
was one more thing that puzzled me, but I think I understand now.
에? 사위가 될 예정은 아닌 것 같아. 왜냐면은 노아랑 사귀었었으니까. 둘이 연애 중인가?
You have a certain fondness for Monsieur Ardman, no?
Cyrus is a good friend, and I appreciate him a lot, but
그
it's not
이상
that.
그
Cyrus
이하도 아니야.
was my daughter's fiancé. I
약혼자가
almost
있었다고?
consider Cyrus as my own son.
Of course, much more is clear now. I have been patient long enough. It is time to go and see what all the commotion is next door.
노아는 그럼 뭐야? 약혼자가 있는데 연애한 거야? 어머!
Monsieur Ardman, excellent. The gods who watch over detectives must have trapped you
아, 저게
here.
문 여는
Why
소리였구나.
didn't they watch over
도망가려고.
I'm a detective too. I was talking to Michelle about a leaky faucet, and I wanted to go out, but you showed up.
No need to invent some preposterous story.
But really,
Michelle has told me everything. You are the fiancé of Suzanne Moreau, his daughter.
Oh, I see.
Surely this is not a big surprise to you.
No. Suzanne was the only woman I ever loved. And I
진짜
failed her.
약혼자라고?
I got into a spat. It was nothing, but I was too proud to apologize. We weren't speaking at all. Suzanne never really cared for that guy Noah. She would have forgiven me. If only. If only.
If only. A common refrain between lovers who quarrel. Obviously, Pierre Michel and Fräulein Schmidt both drugged Detective
동시에
Locke,
타가지고
causing the
1인분
overdose.
타야 되는데 2인분
No
탔구나.
wonder she had so much trouble waking up. Time to report my findings to her and
얘가 싸우지만 않았어도 노아가 유혹하는데 실패하고 정보를 못 빼내서 유괴가 없었던 걸로 될 수도 있었을까? 근데 그게 그 방법이 안 통했으면 다른 방법으로 했었을 것 같아. 레칫이랑 노아는 그만큼 좀 위험한 인간들이었던 것 같긴 해. 우째우째. 아직도 드시고 계시네.
So, my friend, tell me, you have something new?
수면제는요.
Mademoiselle Locke, I know who drugged you.
다 탔어요 다.
Fräulein Schmidt
5인분
and
드셨다고
our
보시면 돼.
conductor Pierre Michel. Both admitted putting sleeping pills into your tea. This explains your overdose. They are relieved you are recovering.
Michel
살아난 게
drugged a
기적이세요.
passenger? On behalf of the company, I offer my apologies to you,
차장이
Mademoiselle Locke.
그랬다고?
Michel will answer for this outrage.
Both of them? I was pretty sure about Fräulein Schmidt, but I admit that I did not suspect the conductor.
I have uncovered multiple connections with the Armstrong
야,
case.
차장까지
Pierre
연관돼
Michel
있을
is the
줄은.
father of Suzanne Moreau, little
진짜
Daisy's
몰랐네.
nanny, and Monsieur Hardman was Suzanne's fiancé. As for Hildegard Schmidt, she was the cook of the Armstrong family. What a coincidence, don't you think?
But it's incredible. What are the
아니,
odds
연관
that
안 된
so
사람이
many people
없어.
linked to that tragic affair ended up on the same train?
About the same as you winning the lottery, my friend.
I wasn't the officer who interviewed Fräulein Schmidt back then, so she couldn't recognize me here on the train. How could they know who I was?
There were other passengers who might have. Or she may have seen you when you visited the Armstrong home. It is now clear to me that some of the clues
정교한
to this
음모?
elaborate plot was staged for my benefit.
내게 흘리려던 사실은 뭐였을까? 살인자가 이거
I must admit I'm not right this time.
살인자가 바로 내렸다.
Et voilà.
근데 눈사태
Some
때문에
clues and
지금
information collected so
열차가
far
꼼짝
could lead to
못하니까
a hypothesis.
상황이 조금 달라진 거지.
The murderer boarded the train in Vinkovsky, killed Ratchet, and then left the train immediately.
How did you come to that possibility?
Monsieur Hardman told me about a short man with a high-pitched voice who threatened Ratchet. Imagine for a moment that this man, wearing a wagon-lit conductor's jacket, killed him while Michel was on the platform at Vinkovsky. This murderer then hid the conductor's jacket in Detective Locke's room, then fled before the train left.
Why choose Detective Locke's room?
Why, indeed. Let me re-explain from the beginning.
이게 맞아? 가짜 단서? 이거를 지금 진짜 범인들이 이거를 이런 시나리오로 범죄를 계획을 했다는 거죠, 지금. 의도했다고. 차장으로 위장하고 열차에 탑승한다. 미셸이 승강장으로 내려간다. 대충 뭐 이런 순서 아닐까요?
I do not think that's the right answer.
그렇지.
That's the right answer.
Mon Dieu! Oui! That must be it! Everything fits so well!
It fits too well, my friend. Other clues
well.
lead to a second hypothesis, much more plausible.
살인자는 여러 명이고 모두 이 사건과 연관된 사람들이다. 암스트롱 사건.
That happens to me a lot. So, we have
살동에서
multiple
만났네, 살동.
murderers, all related to the Armstrong case. The murderer from Vinkovsky was a fabrication to turn suspicion away from those on the train. They expected the investigation to be led by some small-town official who could easily be misled.
Mr. Poirot?
Detective Locke, forgive me. You are an obvious exception. You tracked Ratchet with the tenacity of a bloodhound. Unfortunately for the killers, they not only had you to deal with, but now they had, and I say this with all modesty,
세계 최고의 탐정이 타버리는 바람에
Poirot dropped into the midst of their meticulous
다 들킨
plan.
것이죠.
Multiple murderers? Multiple detectives? Poirot, please take pity on me. Who is linked to this case and who is not?
넌 아닌 것
My poor
같다.
friend, I have gone speeding out of the station without you. I
부크
will
때문
continue.
아니야 이 모든 건? 부크가 푸아호랑 모르는 사이였으면 이 사단 안 났을 텐데. 그러니까 얘는 안 있는 것 같은데, 그죠? 얘네랑 얘는 그냥 내연 사이. 콘스탄틴도 아직 없고. 얘도 모르겠는데? 얘네 얘.
That's the right answer. Fräulein Schmidt, Pierre Michel, Monsieur Hardman, and Monsieur McQueen are all linked to the Armstrong case.
범인이
I
9명이야?
also know that Sonia Armstrong's sister and godmother, Countess Andreni and Princess Dragomirov, are on this train. And finally, Detective Locke discovered that Mr.
나를
Foscarelli
죽이려고
was
하는데
the
그걸 어떻게
Armstrong
막을 수
chauffeur.
있겠어?
If we add Detective Locke and Ratchet, of the 12 passengers in that
형사
coach,
빼면 8명인가?
9 have a connection with the Armstrong case. What next, Poirot? Or should I
본인
say,
제외하면 7명인가?
who next?
It is time to summon everyone.
Everyone? Even Dr. Constantine? The train crew other than Michel?
Dr. Constantine, yes. I will need him. But we don't want the others as witnesses.
I will see that their duties keep them occupied elsewhere.
Excellent. I have always thought this moment in a case is much like Rodin unveiling the thinker before a
눈치가 있으면은.
captivated audience. A work of art. Have you not felt that way, Detective?
No, Mr. Poirot. I'm happy just to slap the cuffs on him.
Well, there is some artistry in that as well.
9명 다 체포하려고
Where would you
그러나?
like the unveiling, Poirot? The lounge?
Perfect.
Then I will gather all the passengers in the lounge.
라운지 칸으로 이동. 라운지가 어디죠? 아, 여기군요. 다들 와주셨군요. 이제부터 추리를 시작하겠습니다.
Monsieur Bouc, are the train crew locked in their quarters?
Yes, they are.
Then the stage is set for the final act. Ladies and gentlemen, I have gathered you together to
할아버지,
hear my reconstruction
목숨을
of
걸고
the
말이죠.
murder of Samuel Edward Ratchet, also known as Cassette. There is not one, but two possible solutions of the crime. I shall put them both before you. And I shall ask Monsieur Bouc and Dr. Constantine here to judge which solution is the correct one.
2 solutions?
Mr. Poirot, I am hardly qualified.
Nevertheless, your assistance is required.
다 불렀네 그냥.
Now, you all know the facts of the case. Ratchet was found stabbed to death this morning. He was last known to be alive at 12:37 a.m. last night when he spoke to the wagon
슬릭백
conductor
챌린저인 줄
through the
알았어.
door. His watch was found to be badly dented, and it had stopped at 1:15. Dr. Constantine, who examined the body, puts the time of death as having occurred between midnight and 2 in the morning. At half an hour after midnight, as you all know, the train ran into a snowdrift. After that time, it was impossible for anyone to leave the train. So, here is my first theory. The enemy, as Ratchet expected, joined the train at Vinkovsky by the door left open by Captain Arbuthnot and Monsieur McQueen, who had just descended to the platform. He was equipped with a wagon-lead jacket, which he wore over his ordinary clothes, and a pass key which enabled him to gain access to Ratchet's compartment in spite of the doors being locked. Ratchet was under the influence of a sleeping draught. This man stabbed him with great ferocity, 12 wounds in all. He left the compartment through the communicating door to Madame Evard's compartment.
Yes, that's so. Scared me half out of my wits.
The murderer thrust the dagger he had used into Mrs. Hubbard's handbag in
세계
passing.
최고의 명탐정도
Without
별거
knowing it,
없구만
he lost
이라고
a button
생각하겠는데.
of his uniform. Then he slipped out of the compartment and along the corridor. He put the uniform
근데
jacket
저렇게
into
저게
Detective
만약에
Locke's
진짜라 그러면은
suitcase
손수건이랑
to cast
액상
suspicion
담배는
on
왜
her.
떨어진 건지 말이 안 된다.
And a few minutes later, dressed in his ordinary clothes, he left the train just before it started off again, using the same means for egress, the door near the dining car.
근데 액상 담배도 떨어진 거 보면은
That is the first hypothesis. But there's a
쟤도 연관이
second
있나?
for that. We must examine the motive
이제
for the crime.
진짜가 나온다.
Why was Ratchet killed? The motive is clear. Revenge, of course. Nothing was stolen. And we know that Ratchet had made many enemies. This was a premeditated crime, meticulously planned.
몇 개월 전.
Since the kidnapping and death of little Daisy Armstrong, which traumatized many people close to the family. Even when the police concluded that it was Suzanne Moreau, questions remained. Detective Locke continued her investigation, as did others. They became convinced the truth lay elsewhere. We now know who the real murderer of Daisy is.
여기서 수잔 모로라고 하면은 하지 말자.
It is
아버지도
clear
계시니까.
now that Daisy's killer was
근데
Ratchet,
저 피해자
also known
유가족들은
as
어떻게
Cassetti
알았지?
and Michael Clark and how many other
사칭한
men.
신분 어떻게
But of course,
알아냈을까?
many of you have known this for a long time. It is obvious that the 12 stab wounds are not a random number. Dr. Constantine's analysis revealed that
12명인가 그럼
some
범인이?
stab wounds appeared to have been caused by a right-handed
다들
attack.
한 방씩 찔렀을 거
Others
아니야.
indicated the knife wielder was left-handed. Some wounds were deep, more than one fatal. Yet others were not much more than mere scratches. What can explain these discrepancies? This leads us to an obvious conclusion. They are
힘의 차이.
symbolic.
아, 이건 몰랐네. 나이.
Come now, Poirot. Daisy
아,
was 3 years old.
아, 이건 몰랐네. 맞아, 3살밖에 안 됐어. 아, 배심원 단수.
12 stabs.
진짜
12.
몰랐네.
The same number as a trial jury in the United States.
맞아.
But not just a jury of 12
아,
members
그래서
condemning
그렇게
him to
의미를
death,
두고
but 12
12번.
executioners as well. This self-appointed jury had meticulously planned for everything except
Snow.
Snow. The avalanche that stopped us, as well as the presence of not one but two detectives on the train. They had to improvise, to hastily add clues
다
and false
들켰다
leads.
얘들아 집에 가자. 뭐라 그랬어? 뭐라 그랬는데?
This woman in a red kimono does not exist. I don't know which of the passengers it was. It does not really matter.
이게 원래
It was
범인이야.
just a performance, a charade to introduce another possible culprit to muddy the waters. The time on Ratchet's
다
broken watch
속임수였구나.
was deliberately set to conceal
눈만
the
아니었으면
true
진짜
time of the crime.
모르겠다.
The vial of vaping liquid incriminated Captain Arbuthnot. However, he had a solid alibi confirmed
일부러
by
알리바이
Monsieur
만들어준 건가,
McQueen.
그러면?
Impossible then to suspect him. The conductor's jacket found in Detective Locke's suitcase was put there only to cast suspicion upon her. All
일부러
these
저기
false
가방에다가
leads were
넣었구나.
intended for me. But I am Poirot. I understood the truth. We have a train full of suspects. It's time to identify who the real culprits are. Let's start with Detective Locke.
아니 들렸어? 네라 그러면 화나네 화내네? 아니요라 그러니까 로크는 수면제를 마셨죠.
Planting the conductor's jacket in her suitcase was an attempt to implicate Detective Locke, but she couldn't fake her drugged condition. Dr. Constantine can
연기한 걸
testify
수도 있잖아.
that
우리가
the
뭐
drugged
소변
tea
검사를 한 것도 아닌데.
incapacitated her for hours, and
졸려요
she had
이러고.
two relapses.
눈 이렇게 해보면
Let us
아나?
move on to
동공
Monsieur
이걸로?
McQueen.
이걸로 아나?
When I told him about Cassetti, he looked very surprised that I managed to make the connection between him and the Armstrong case. He told me, "But I thought we had..." I think he meant... You thought you didn't leave any real clues linking the murder to the Armstrong kidnapping. Moreover, you insisted that Ratchet did not speak French when you knew I had heard a voice calling out in French that was supposed to be Ratchet.
맥킨이 레치 찔렀을까? 아니요. 네. 아버지의 정체. 찢어진 사진은 뭐야?
You took some pleasure in leaving me false clues, I think. It was quite annoying. But you told me yourself that your father was the district attorney who handled the Armstrong case.
The case haunted my father. At first, he believed Suzanne Moreau had helped her boyfriend, Noah, to kidnap Daisy, even though there were questions that went unanswered, and a young policewoman refused to let it go, continuing to find discrepancies, but never enough to reopen the official investigation.
That policewoman sits there. Her name is Joanna Locke.
Then tell him. Tell him how in the end my father believed you, how he resigned a job that he loved, racked with guilt that he may have let that monster go free. He died young.
돌아가셨네.
His faith in justice broken. That's what Ratchet did to him.
Thank you for your honesty, Monsieur McQueen. Your father is one more victim of the man who called himself
동기
Ratchet.
나왔네.
Now,
찌를 때 기분
I will
좋았니?
turn to Ratchet's valet, Monsieur Masterman.
얘는 모르겠는데? 근데 웃는 게 열받아가지고. 아니야.
No, Poirot. Remember Ratchet's sleeping pills.
뭐야? 왜? 왜? 뭐야? 뭐야? 알았네. 수면제를 먹였다.
Ratchet sensed danger close to him and
깜짝
naturally
놀랐네.
wanted to stay awake. You gave him sleeping pills without his knowledge.
희석가?
Once he was sound asleep, you
얘는 왜
could do
찔렀대?
what you had to do in peace.
Sir, I'll tell you the truth. I was Colonel Armstrong's adjutant in the war, sir, and afterwards, I was his valet in New York. I'm afraid I concealed the fact this morning. It was very wrong of me, sir, but I knew how suspicious it would look.
Is that all you have to say?
얘도
That's all,
관련자였구나.
Now, to leave no suspicious stone unturned, let us move on to Monsieur Book.
What? Me? A suspicious stone?
아니요. 네. 아 웃겨. 아니요. 나와의 우정.
Book, my friend, of course you are not guilty. You did everything you could to get me on this train. What madness would cause you to ensure, and I speak with all modesty,
웃기는 아저씨네.
that the best detective in the world could be present to witness your crime?
But doesn't our friendship count as well?
Most assuredly, but a murderer can wear all sorts of masks, including friendship. Let us consider our ever-efficient wagon-lit conductor, Pierre Michel.
이 사람 뭐 볼 필요도 없죠? 표정 변화가 별로 적은 것 같은데?
No, that is his motive. I need real, tangible proof. Your admission that you drugged Detective Locke immediately incriminates you. But the murder could not have been possible without your very capable assistance. Your knowledge of train procedures made the murder possible.
그러네.
And your position in the corridor of
좀
the
힘들었을 수
train
있겠다.
allowed you to be the perfect alibi for several
직원의
passengers.
알리바이가
And your
도와줘야지.
motive?
확실하게 안전하게
Daisy
죽일 수
Armstrong's
있겠네.
poor nanny, who was wrongly accused and committed suicide, was your daughter.
Cet enfoiré. He got what he deserved. My poor daughter has finally been avenged. My Suzanne.
와 인정하네.
My child.
Let's move on now to Monsieur Hardman, one of 3
죽어도 싼 놈이었어.
detectives on this train.
표정 안 좋네.
Monsieur Hardman, I think you are a real detective, but you were never hired by Ratchet. Your alibi was that you were watching the corridor to protect Ratchet, which, of course, you never did. You protected Pierre Michel. However, we just saw that his alibi doesn't hold up, so neither does yours.
I don't know about the conductor.
Being Suzanne's fiancé, you had a substantial motive to punish Ratchet. You used your detective skills, just as Detective Locke did, to hunt him down and finally avenge the death of your beloved.
That's right, Mr. Poirot. I do have some
인정해.
detective skills.
I never doubted it.
쿨하게 인정해.
Fraulein Schmidt, the lady's maid with the soul of a cook.
얘도 찔렀을까? 은근 좋아하는 것 같은데? 아니요 하니까 화를 내는 건가?
Fraulein Schmidt, you told me of your remorse for drugging Detective Locke. I believe you are sincere. However, as the cook of the Armstrong family, you experienced the drama from within. The
그래,
death
꼬마애가
of Daisy,
죽었는데
then
찔러야지.
Sonia Armstrong, who died in childbirth, and finally, Suzanne and John,
다 죽었잖아.
So much misfortune in that poor family. The death of this criminal is only justice.
잔뜩
Let
화가
us
났어.
move on to Countess Andreni. I was impressed by the earnestness of her husband when he swore to me solemnly on his honor that his wife never left her
명예 다
compartment that
죽었쥬?
night. Should I believe it? Even if it seems logical, it's more complicated than that. I believe Countess Andreni.
안 찔렀어? 양심상 찌르는 게 불가능하다.
On the contrary, this fact gives her a motive for
양심상 불가능하다가 이유야?
Countess Andreni, being Sonia Armstrong's sister, you had every reason in the world to
와,
want to
대단한
avenge
양심.
her. But you were incapable of stabbing someone, even after what he had done to you and your family. The night of the crime, you simply took a
약
sleeping
먹었다
pill.
그랬지, 참.
I appreciate the irony that nearby, Detective Locke was also in a drugged sleep. When
양심이
you awoke,
아니라
you
약심이었네.
thought the nightmare was over.
Rudolph?
Hush, my love. Hush.
Excellent transition. I was coming to you, Count Andreni.
네가 찔렀지? 인상이 마음에 안 들었잖아. 대신 찔렀대.
12 people, a jury. This was very important to all of you. If Countess Andreni did not stab Ratchet,
와,
someone
이거를
had
안
to take
하는
her
거는
place. And
옵션이
you,
없었나 봐.
Count, the beloved husband. I've seen how fiercely you love and protect your wife.
Enough! I would do anything for Helena. Anything. Even that.
Yes, even that. Let's move on to
남자라면?
Monsieur Foscarelli.
찔렀죠? 이탈 이거 인종차별 아니야?
Detective Locke found out that you were the Armstrong chauffeur.
다 알고 왔습니다.
And that you plan to travel on the same train at the same time as Ratchet. That is what made her decide to obtain a ticket as well. Unfortunately, she could not
선택지가 아주
prevent the murder.
놀라웠네.
Have you lost your tongue, Mr. Foscarelli?
Oh, Daisy. She was the delight of the house. Tonio, she called me. And she would sit in the
운전기사면은
car
진짜
and
가까이서
pretend
많이
to drive me.
봤겠었다. 밖에
And you,
있었겠네.
Mademoiselle Olson, a champion for the immigrants, a worthy calling.
얘는 뭐 아무 관련 없는 사람 아니에요?
I do not.
너도 찔렀어? 아, 걸쇠?
Mademoiselle Olson, you supported Madame Hubbard's story about her connecting door latch, a story that I later demonstrated to be impossible. So, you deliberately lied to me, and you also lied about Mademoiselle Debenham's whereabouts.
Enough! I can't take this anymore. I know what you want from me, Mr. Poirot. Very well. Here it is. She was my little Daisy, my angel, so patient. When I patched a script,
담당
or
의사였나
took a
봐.
temperature, that was my job. But she was so much more to me. She was a shining light in an ever-darkening world. I've tried to honor her by caring for children who have lost everything.
Thank you, Mademoiselle Olson. You too shed light on your part in this mystery.
이렇게 많이 간호사?
You were Daisy Armstrong's nurse. I will ask you no more questions. It is enough that you have admitted what I know to be the truth, and I
한
understand.
7년형
Let's move
정도
on.
받지 않을까?
Dr. Constantine.
You suspect
근데
me?
계획범죄라
I know
가지고.
none of these people. I didn't know Ratchet either, and I've taken a solemn oath to help people, not murder them.
그래서 죽였나요?
Now, really, Poirot, he has helped you get to the truth, not hidden it.
아, 안 죽였어? 미안해. 부크의 진술. 수사 내내 도와주었다.
Dr. Constantine was certainly helpful
아,
to
그런
my
건 증거가 안 돼?
investigation, but that does not prove he is innocent.
아, 부크는 됐잖아.
You are one of the few people in this room not to
어이없네.
have any connection with the Armstrong case. Moreover, your alibi is confirmed by Monsieur Bouc, whom
아, 이거
I
너무
would trust
친분
with
수사
my
아니에요?
life.
우정이 증거?
That is very kindly said, my friend.
We now come to Mademoiselle Debenham and Captain Arbuthnot, whose relationship was not in doubt from the moment I inspected your
아주
room
닭가발리네.
at
여기
the
사람들
hotel.
다
You have a
모여
bloody
있는데
nerve.
와가지고.
Indeed, I do.
We're getting married.
Congratulations. But
축하해요.
I would rather talk about your relationship to John Armstrong.
네? 형제인가?
Think, Poirot.
아니네.
That is not a good answer.
군인?
My little grey cells did not let Captain Arbuthnot. You served in the army with John Armstrong. What I don't understand is why a
그거였네.
man your age is still
전쟁
One might
동기.
expect you to be a colonel as well.
Ever fought in a war, Poirot?
It was war that first brought me to England.
Then you know what it's like. There's a shattering sound and death.
그러면은 진짜
and
끈끈할
mistakes acting on
만하네.
intelligence that proved to be wrong. I sent a patrol to their death. Good men, brave men, wasted. John testified on my behalf at a court-martial. I'm not a colonel. I don't deserve to be, you bloody fool. But I'm also not in
부하들이
prison.
너무 많이
John
죽어가지고
remained my best friend until
법원까지 갔구나.
there. you
베스트
have my story.
프렌드였대.
Understand now?
Archie, calm down, please.
You're right, Mary. What you see in me, I don't understand.
Oh, Archie, I see in you what John saw.
Miss Debenham, I'm sorry.
My turn, is it?
I'm afraid so. And you have caused me quite a puzzlement. Your connection with the Armstrong family was not obvious. Then I remembered the job you currently hold.
선생님이라 그랬잖아.
That was easy. You were the teacher of...
헬레나 누구야?
No, she was the teacher of Countess Andrény. You were the teacher of Helena Andrény, whose maiden name was Helena Goldenberg before she married Count Andrény.
Yes, absolutely. Why lie to you? She was an excellent student.
돼?
Captain Arbuthnot.
액상 담배.
Oh, his
미끼였어?
vial found at the crime scene was a decoy.
맥킨의 진술.
You had one of the strongest alibis, thanks to Mr. McQueen. But his testimony melted like a snowflake.
근데
There went your alibi.
왜 미끼를 심어놨대?
Unless you have another one.
할 말 없습니다.
As for you, Mademoiselle Debenham,
너도 찔러야지.
Mademoiselle Olsen was the only one who
서로
could
알리바이 다
confirm your
해줬는데
alibi. I
다
think you
범인이라
know where you
가지고
stand.
알리바이가
Very good,
다
Mr.
못쓸모가
Poirot.
돼버렸네.
Are you satisfied?
I will be soon. Now I must turn to Sonia Armstrong's godmother, Princess Dragomirov.
다 찔렀네 여기 있는 사람들이. 와 이럴 수가.
Princess Dragomirov, you weren't on my list of
왼손잡이라는
suspects at
이유만으로.
the start, given your social position.
I left my social position in a cold country.
Do you object to being addressed as princess?
I deny people the opportunity. It makes a good story to tell their friends. It also guarantees a good table in the best restaurants.
Princess, there is also, forgive me, your extreme physical fragility.
It does not stop me when I must be strong.
Indeed. Of more importance, though, is the fact that you're the only left-handed person on the train. And the single blow to Ratchet from a left-handed person
이래서
was
살인할
very,
때는 반대쪽 손으로 해야 되나 봐.
weak. Finally, I'm afraid I know the alibi that you shared with Fraulein Schmidt is false.
You have been very thorough, sir. I hope you will permit me to say we are much alike.
I am honored. Now it is time to end with Mrs. Hubbard. Or should I say?
허버드도 뭐가 있어? 허버드 아 명배우 그 할머니가
Linda Arden.
칭찬했던.
If Princess Dragomirov hadn't told me about her relationship with this famous actress, I might not have made the connection. But you are a great actress, madame. Your performance as a flighty, self-involved
저게 다
woman was
연기였어.
superb. I never would have guessed something entirely different. As for what ties you to the Armstrong family, it is obvious.
누이? 소니아 어머니? 소니아의 어머니면은 공작 부인의 딸 아니에요? 아 이거 아니야?
I must admit I'm not right this time.
할머니? 할머니야!
Et voilà.
세상에.
Mrs. Hubbard, you are the mother of Sonia Armstrong
엄마인데 모른
and
척한 거야
Mrs.
그러면?
Andreni.
당연히 찔렀겠다. 안 찌르면 안 되지.
Madame Hubbard, you really are a remarkable actress. You put so much effort into your character and into staging the murder. I saw it as a perfect mosaic, each person playing his or her allotted part. So carefully arranged that if suspicion should fall on any one person,
야,
the
안
evidence of
찌르는
one
게
or more
진짜
of the others would clear the accused person and confuse the issue. Everything was meticulously
이건 못
planned.
참지 이러고 찔렀.
But you hadn't expected that Detective Locke
로크는
and
그냥
I would be on
꿀잼
this
구경하네
train,
지금.
and the avalanche would block it on the night of the murder. You had to improvise. But again, improvisation would be another of your skills as an actress. So you came up with the
꿀잠 자고
story
일어나서
that the
디저트
latch
먹고
on the door
맛있는 밥
that
먹고.
communicated with Ratchet's compartment was hidden by the handbag.
I always fancied myself in comedy parts. That slip about the sponge bag was silly. Shows you should always rehearse properly. You know all about it, Mr. Poirot. You're a very wonderful man, but even you can't quite imagine what it was like. That awful day. I was just crazy with grief. So with
장례식장에 다
we decided then and
있네.
there that the sentence of death
여기서
that Ratchet had escaped had
계획했구나
got to be carried
범죄를.
out. There were 12 of us, or rather 11. Suzanne's father was over in France, of course. First we thought we'd draw lots as to who should do it, but in the end we decided on this way. It was the driver, Antonio, who suggested it. Mary worked out all the details later with Hector McQueen.
Wow.
It took a long time to perfect our plan. We first had to track Ratchet down. Hardman managed that in the end. Then we had to try and get Edward and Hector into his employment. Well, we
얘네가 제일
managed that.
고생했네.
Then we had a consultation with Suzanne's father. Captain Arbuthnot was very keen on having 12 of us. He seemed to think it made it more orderly. He didn't like the stabbing idea much. But he agreed that it did solve most of our difficulties. Well, Suzanne's father was willing. Suzanne had been his only child. We knew from Hector that Ratchet would be coming back from the east sooner or later by the Orient Express. With Pierre Michel actually working on that train, the chance was too good to be missed. My daughter's husband had to know, of course, and he insisted on coming on the train with her. Hector wrangled it so that Ratchet selected the right day for traveling when Michel would be on duty. And then, at the last minute, you came. For the rest of the story, you worked out everything, Mr. Poirot. You were right about all of us. What are you going to do about it? If it must all come out, can't you lay the blame upon me and me only? I would have stabbed that man 12 times willingly. It wasn't only that he was responsible for my daughter's death and her child's, and that of the other child who might have been alive and happy now. It was more than that. There had been other children kidnapped before Daisy, and there might be others in the future. Society had condemned him. We were only carrying out the sentence, but it's unnecessary to bring all these others into it, all these good, faithful souls.
그래.
You are a director of the company, Monsieur Book. What
한
do you
명만
say?
넘겨. 근데 이거를 영화로 만들면 재밌겠다.
In my opinion, Poirot, the first theory you put forward was the correct one. Decidedly so. I suggest that is the solution we
진실은
offer to the
우리끼리만
police.
알자고.
You agree, Doctor?
Certainly, I agree. As regards the medical evidence,
다들 눈 감아준다고?
that I made one or two fantastic suggestions.
Then, having placed my solution before you, I have the honor to retire from the case.
어쨌든 맞췄으니까 됐어 나는. 나머지는 경찰이 알아서 하시오. 근데 이거를 저 경찰이 다 듣고 있는데 경찰도 오케이 하는 건가? 경찰은 오케이 안 해줄 것 같은데? 오 끝이야?
I'm sorry to wake you up in the middle of the night, Poirot, but it couldn't wait. There was a detail that bothered me in my preliminary autopsy of Ratchet's body. I went back to examine the body and I discovered a wound covered by another. The blow I hadn't seen was delivered by a thinner, sharper blade. So there were not 12, but 13 stab wounds.
12 stabs for 12 jurors. It doesn't work with 13 wounds. The symmetry is destroyed.
It can't be one of the culprits who
그걸
stabbed
이제
him twice.
말해요.
Doctor, a different knife was used. There is only one explanation. Somehow, some way, there is a 13th murderer on this train. We must tell Book. The case is not solved.
죽은지를 모르고 찌르고 간 애가 하나 더 있다고?
Please come in. Ah, Book. I see we
Book
are
아니야?
moving at last.
Yes. The way was finally cleared while we slept. If all goes well, we will arrive in Venice this evening. The train will be there for several hours for refueling and reprovisioning. What do we do with the 13th murderer? Do you have a lead?
I thought about it.
언제
There is one
찔렀는지
clue that was left aside in my investigation. The diary I found in Ratchet's safe mentioned an appointment
맞아.
in Venice. Someone with the initials AW. He will never keep the appointment. But there should be enough time. I must try to keep that appointment for him.
AW. Meet AW.
고맙습니다. 오리엔탈 특별
햄모닝 맥모닝 링크도 감사합니다. 혼타나 델 콜리 10시
No, not good. I'm right again.
난 대단해. 헉! 재밌다. AW? 그 사람이 누군데?
I think we should let Ratchet rest in peace. I don't have time for small talk.
콘스탄틴과 대화. 헤이스팅스 찾기? 콘스탄틴이 어디 있어?
How would it look to the police if I asked a suspected murderer
Murderer. 101호실.
for help?
안 계시네? 죽었나? 또 사건 시작하나? 여기 있네.
Doctor, a moment. Have you made arrangements for Ratchet's body?
Yes, it will be collected by the Italian authorities when we reach Venice. The autopsy will be performed there. However, there is something odd.
Oh?
Since the train is French, jurisdiction must be shared. When I told them you were already on the scene, they have both agreed to support your investigation until we reach Paris. Ratchet's compartment will be sealed until we arrive there. All of those who conspired to kill Ratchet are to be confined to the train until then as well.
So, thanks to you, I am the rope in a tug-of-war between two countries.
Oh, but I thought you would want to be in charge. And isn't it odd we continue on our journey with a trainload of people that police consider potential murderers?
Calm yourself, Doctor. It is not the first time I find
중간에서
myself
곤란한
in the
적이 한두
middle.
번이
And to
아니라고?
be honest, I welcome the chance to see this case through. It is fast becoming one of the most challenging of my career.
별 이상 없지?
Oh, my dear book, how does our journey progress?
We are well on our way to Venice. All of our passengers are locked in their rooms by order of the authorities. I watch them when they want to stretch their legs, like the captain there behind you.
I see that you have the situation well in hand.
얘가 헤이스팅스였어?
Would you be able to accompany me to
그건 안
Venice to
되겠네.
follow a lead?
I'm honored you asked me, my friend.
하지만 그건 안
I would
되겠네.
have loved to help you.
이럴 줄
But
알았어.
I have to manage the situation here. I must make sure no one gets off the train in Venice and that Ratchet's body is transferred.
같이 베니스로 갑시다.
Doctor, a question. Could you assist my investigation in Venice?
I can't. I'm afraid. I'm to accompany Ratchet's body when the Italian police take possession of it. I've been asked, commanded really, to help with the autopsy because of my earlier examination.
됐어. 저도 어차피 같이 가고 싶지도 않았어. 어? 같이 갑시다.
Mademoiselle Locke, you are clearly an excellent police officer. Could you accompany me to Venice for an investigation into Ratchet's activities? There is much we still need to know.
Well, yes. It would be an honor to work with you. And I'm glad you trust me.
너무
What do you
과하게
have in mind?
좋아하는데?
There was a
좋아요.
notation in Ratchet's appointment book. He had an appointment.
With who?
There were only the initials A.W. They were to meet at 10 o'clock at the Fontana dei Conigli. I want to know who Ratchet was meeting and why.
But you've already discovered the 12 conspirators. Why is this meeting important?
Unfortunately, the case is not complete. Dr. Constantine has discovered the presence of a 13th stab wound.
One of them could have stabbed him twice.
The wound was made with another
더
finer
예리한 칼.
blade. Why would one of them have used two knives? Did they want to confess they killed him more than the others? And if so, why bother to deny it when they have already confessed? No, it makes no sense. And I do not close a case until all questions have been answered. You, of all people, must understand this.
You're right. I do understand.
100번 이해하죠.
Thank you. Together, we will uncover the truth. We will arrive in a few hours. Take the opportunity to rest.
I slept well last night. No more effects of the drug.
그렇게 자고 또 잤대.
Then be prepared when we reach Venice.
렛치
We have
죽으니까
another
사람이
mystery
좀
to solve.
표정이 밝아졌어. 막힌 똥을 싼 사람의 얼굴이요.
This is the third embarking dock, and no gondoliers available at all.
왜 바로 이렇게 이동하네?
With Carnival, you can't find a gondolier to cross that damn canal. They're all booked. The worst thing is that the fountain is just across this canal. We're almost there.
가면무도회인가 봐. 와, 이 게임 은근 기네? 열차에서 끝날 줄 알았더니. 고양이가 되게 많이 나와, 그리고.
I see a gondolier just over there.
베니스에서의 수상한 만남.
I am sure this little problem will pose
이번에는
no
이렇게
challenge to
얘로
you.
움직이네? 여기서도 황금 수염 찾아야 되나요?
It's impossible to find a gondolier during Carnival.
줄 밀어.
Hi there. We'd like to cross the canal, please.
There is a bridge about a kilometer down the canal.
Please. According to the map, the Fontana dei Conigli is just across the canal here.
No, I, Gabriele, cannot help you. I'm sorry.
We'll miss the 10 o'clock rendezvous if we try to get through this crowd and have to walk a kilometer in both directions. Why is he refusing to take us across? He looks upset. I should try to find out why.
돈?
If it's a matter of price, I'm sure we can work it out.
Money? Money won't help me now.
His problem isn't money. What is it then?
관찰해야 되나 보다. 머니가 답이 아니래. 사랑이군.
Ah, what a sham. A beautiful bouquet crushed by revelers. Bella Chiara, the beautiful Chiara. A beautiful name for a beautiful gondola.
벨라. 헉! 곤돌라 사공의 문제. 여자친구랑 싸웠다.
Not bad.
키아라.
Hey, I'm a pretty good detective after all.
키아라를 찾아야 되나 그러면? 언제 여기까지 왔대?
Ancora una volta sono dalla parte spagliata del canale per la festa.
Sorry, I don't speak Italian.
좋은 비둘기는 쫓은 비둘기뿐? 이 시간에 그냥 1km 걷겠다.
Every carnival, my friends and I mask. And every carnival, we lose one another.
그냥 쟤한테 다시 말 걸어야 되는 거 아닐까? 맞네. 키아라.
I'm sorry you had a fight with Kiara.
야,
What?
키아라,
How did you
치아라.
I'm a detective. I'd like to help if I can.
If you have a spare engagement ring, detective, I'll take it.
Ah, I see. You lost the engagement ring you were planning to give Kiara?
Lost? It is worse than that. I threw it away in the canal. I
왜?
bitterly regret this gesture. I now find myself without a girlfriend and without a ring.
반지 남는 거 있으세요?
If we find the ring, maybe the gondolier will take us across.
You are right. There is not much time.
그냥
I
걸어가는 게
will
나을 것 같다니까? 반지를 어떻게 찾아주지? 어?
It's calm and relaxing, although not as clean as it could be.
낚싯대라도 있는 줄. 살인범이야? 어디까지 갈 수 있는 거예요? 여기까지구나. 다들 너무 재미없어 보이는데? 어? 폰타나. 아저씨는 뭐예요? 나한테 도와달라 그랬으면서 하는 것도 없네. 죄송한데 못 찾겠어요. 뭐 어떡하라는 거야 이거. 운하 횡단. 힌트 공개. 하수관? 고양이다. 아!
I know someone who will be happy. I don't need an empty soda can. There are too many plastic bottles in the world.
야, 이게 여기 있네. 고양이가 여기 있네. 야, 힌트가 좋구나.
Excuse me. I believe I have
Excuse
something that
me?
belongs to you.
Mamma mia, grazie mille, signorina. With this, I can now win my Chiara's heart again.
너 이탈리안
I know it.
아니지?
How to thank you?
My friend and I need to get to the other side. We have a very important date at the Fontana di Conigli.
Ah, yes. The rabbit fountain. Of course, I'll take you across. Then I will call Chiara. Hopefully
공짜로
she will
태워줘 이
forgive me.
정도면.
I'm sure she will.
Well done, Detective Locke.
야, 이거 이렇게 잠깐 건너가는 거가 이렇게 힘들어? 포아로 well done 하고
This district of Venice is very
날먹
charming.
레전드.
You will love it.
빨리 좀 갑시다. 예? 그러니까 여자친구랑 싸우지. 아우 답답해.
If it's not too much to ask, can you wait for us until we return?
Yes, no worries. I can call Chiara from here. To find the fountain, walk along the quay on the left, then
대기까지
cross the bridge
시켰는데?
and you are there. You cannot miss it.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, signorina. You have made me the happiest gondolier in Venice. Chiara, I'm sorry.
키아라, I'm sorry. 다 가면을 쓰고 있어가지고 근데 만나도 누군지 알 수 있을까? 우리도 가면을 쓰고 왔었어야 되는 거 아니야? 이 중에 누군지.
It's 9:55. The right time in the right place. Now AW just needs to show up.
You made me run, Detective Locke. Poirot does not run. I'll wait,
Poirot.
sitting down.
AW의 정체를 밝혀라.
Did you have an appointment here at the fountain?
Yes, to party.
어?
Nobody. The desk clerk must be asleep. or off
명부
partying.
같은 거 볼 수 있나?
If there's no one to help me, they won't mind if I help myself. Aziz Wadi. That's the only name that corresponds to the initials AW.
Paziente, non ti ho sentito. Posso aiutarla?
Hello.
Fontana.
I'm looking for the Fontana de Conigli. Do you know where it is?
Ah, it's right in front of the hotel. It's easy to recognize because of rabbits.
Thank you. I had an appointment with someone, but I can't find him. I wondered if he might be staying in your hotel.
I can't help you unless you give me the name.
Aziz.
I have an appointment with Mr. Aziz Wadi. Do you know if he's here?
Well, unfortunately, he left the hotel this morning. He seemed to be in a hurry, but he left a carta. You are?
Ratchet 부인.
I'm Mrs. Ratchet.
Mr. Wadi asked me to give the message to the signore, but I suppose this is okay.
암호네? 이거 래칫 저 다이어리에도 있었던 건데. 앨리스는 분수에 앉아 흰 토끼 조각상을 바라보았습니다. 토끼가 껑충 사라지는 거 아니겠어요? 앨리스 따라가 볼까요? 좁은 골목길을 지나 어쩌고 저쩌고 고양이가 차를 마시고 있었고 넓은 광장에서 카드 병정들이 지내는 막사에서 모르겠네. 토끼가 바라보고 있는 쪽으로
So,
일단
mademoiselle,
가야 되나 보다.
was our mysterious AW here?
No, but I managed to get his name, Aziz Wadi, and a letter he wrote for Ratchet. It seems to be a kind of riddle rhyme.
Let me see.
그러게요.
Well, Ratchet and Mr. Wadi must love this book to refer to it so much.
Yes, I think we have to search and find the tracks that this person left for Ratchet to find him.
I think so. Lead the way, Mademoiselle Locke.
어?
Help yourself, Joanna. You earned it.
흰토끼 조각상이 바라보는 걸로 가야겠네. 저쪽이야. 무덤? 그 다음 모자가 높다고 싸우고 있었다. 얘넨가? 거리 이름이 있다고요? 델포노 다리를 건너야 되나? 모르겠네. 다리 건너는 거 맞네. 숫자를 모아야 된다는 무슨 말이지? 모자! 마임을 하냐? 길이 너무 헷갈린다. 고양이다. 광장? 부두의 끝자락? 죽었어. 아까 거기네. 여기로 가야 되는 거 아닐까? 오? 아까 내가 뭔데 아니야? 어? 어! 헉! 뭐야? 다섯 자리네? 앨리스가 여기로 오는 길에 모은 숫자를 전부 합쳐서 만드는 암호. 뭐야? 뭐야? 숫자? 숫자?
Do you need help, Detective Locke?
It looks like the writer of this letter is quoting Alice in Wonderland.
No, I think it is a pastiche. Monsieur Carroll was a much better writer than this.
It's a riddle. No, a map.
Both. I think Mr. Waddy was worried their business might be known, and has given Ratchet directions to a new rendezvous point. The last paragraph suggests a door that requires a passcode. If I understand correctly, this code will be made up of numbers that we will find along the way.
아, 그걸 누가 모르냐고! 막 돌게 하네? 숫자를 합친다는 게 뭐지?
Mr. Waddy's letter mentions a rabbit. The rabbit fountain is an obvious starting point. I believe the letter refers to this place. We have a reference to hats in the letter. Where can we find hats?
아예 정보값도 없어.
If we follow the letter, our next landmark will be a cat. A real cat is not likely. Let's try to find a picture or a sign with a cat. A place with playing card soldiers. It sounds like a metaphor. What place could make us think of soldiers?
도움이 안 되네, 아저씨. 숫자가 무슨 숫자를 합치는 걸까? 토끼 숫자, 모자 숫자, 고양이 숫자 이런 걸까? 고양이 카드 (4가) 있다고요? 어? 아, 숫자가 다 이렇게 하나씩 써져 있었나 보다. 오는 길에. 그러네. 이걸 못 봤네? 맨 처음부터 봤었어야 되나봐. 어?
A gold mustache. Thank you very much.
길마. 어머, 여기도 문이 또 있어. 구? 여기가 최종인가 본데? 어, 이건 뭐야? 함정인가? 얼굴이 달린 커다란 문이면 여기 맞는 것 같다. 힌트 좀 볼까? (28469) 28469 아닐까? 근데 저렇게 대놓고 적혀있을 줄은 몰랐네. 어?
Hey, you.
I can't lose them.
헤이 유가 웬 말이야? 오. 헤이 유. 갑자기 용과 같이 됐는데요? 오, 잘 뛰어, 오, 잘 뛰어, 오, 잘 뛰어. 내가 좀 빠르지?
Move over.
싸가지.
Too many! Too many masks! The murderer could be standing there watching me and laughing.
이 중에 하나겠다.
Yes, Detective Locke?
The murderer got away. I'm coming back, but it looked like he dropped something when he climbed the first wall.
All right, I'll go and see. For my part, unfortunately, I could do nothing for the victim. He was already dead. I have already alerted the Italian authorities. I will see what I can find while I wait for them.
또 다른 살인 사건이 있을 줄이야. 와, 이번엔 또 얘가 나설 차례야.
A pair of women's glasses. Was Ratchet planning a new identity? There must be several tens of thousands of dollars in this bag.
수잔 안경인가?
The victim was stabbed. Apparently the method of choice in this case.
누구야?
A bunch of keys. If, as seems likely, Mr. Wadi is a resident of Geneva, then one of these may belong to
와디가
his
죽은
home
거구나 지금. 와디 죽인 사람이 그 래칫도 찔른 사람인가 보다. 얘도 죽이려고 왔네.
Mr. Wadi's Swiss passport. I'll see if I can find a match on the internet to confirm his identity.
래칫 동료네. 같은 나쁜 놈이라서 죽인 거 아닐까? 검색 160, 176.
I do not think that's the right answer. Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth.
아. 와다.
My little
오바다.
tracers did not let me down.
왜 안 찾아봐?
Various clothes in his suitcase. Mr. Wadi was obviously planning to leave this city.
어디로 도망쳤지? 이쪽인가? 얘는 뛰질 않아. 뛰는 건 경박해서 안 뛰어.
You can never have too many of these.
헉! 이탈리아?
A false passport with Ratchet's picture. Clark, Ratchet. How many others? Now he will become Enrico Caldo. It appears Ratchet changed his identity as often as his socks.
세상에. 카이로?
According to the information I have, this is a solid choice.
카이로?
I'm sorry I couldn't catch the suspect, Mr. Poirot.
There is no need to apologize, mademoiselle. Your efforts were marvelous. I found some information about Mr. Wadi.
Did you access the FBI database?
Don't worry, my little gray cells were enough. However, The database may confirm the origin of these banknotes.
No need. I included them when I continued my investigation.
Excellent.
No, Joanna. I don't need this. No. Come on, Joanna. I don't need. No. I did something wrong.
라쳇 가짜 신분 개수가 햄님이 호주 가서 입은 팬티 수보다 많다.
이씨. 아, 뭐야, 이렇게 넘길 수가 있구나.
No, Joanna. No, this isn't it. Think! I don't need Mr. Poirot. Come on, Joanna. That's a rookie mistake. I don't need. Come on, Joe. That's it. No, Joanna. No. Hey? No. I don't need Mr. Poirot to tell me I'm wrong. No. I don't know. Come on, Joanna. That's a rookie mistake. No, I don't. That.
Mr.
봤냐?
Poirot,
이게 바로
it's part of the
추리라는
ransom money
거야.
from the Armstrong case.
You are surprised?
I suppose not. So Ratchet had it in an account at the Banque du Lac.
It would seem so. He knew the serial numbers on the banknotes could be traced, and he could not spend it, so he stashed it there.
But now he's run low, something he didn't count on. He hopes enough time has passed so he can begin to spend the ransom money.
There is something else he didn't count on.
What's that?
He didn't count on you, Detective Locke, and your tenacity.
Thank you. But we are still left with a murderer on the loose.
역시 10년만 있으면 잡을 수 있구나.
We know Mr. Waddy had an
언젠간
appointment with
잡힌다.
Ratchet. He had a bag full of money and a passport with Ratchet's photo, but a new name. What is your opinion about the passport?
진짜 신분이다.
Maybe Waddy was blackmailing Ratchet because he had Ratchet's true identity in his possession.
Enrico Caldo. It is unlikely that this is his real name. He was a master of false identities.
But why didn't Waddy's murderer take all that money?
That is a good question.
돈이 아닌 다른 동기.
The bag isn't very big. He could have easily run away with it. If he didn't take it, it was deliberate. He wasn't interested in the money. If the motive wasn't money, it leaves passion or revenge for motive.
원한이
So, Detective
분명합니다.
Locke, what do you think? Passion or revenge?
지금 약간 제자를
Revenge seems like
키우는
an
건가요?
obvious motive to me. The
포아호?
murderer carefully followed Waddy from the fountain to the new meeting place despite Waddy's precautions. That is cold and careful.
Excellent. We cannot yet know for certain, but that is a sound psychological analysis. We have an idea of the motive. It is the same motive as that of our 12 would-be murderers on the train. But we still must know who was under that mask.
I think Waddy's killer is also Ratchet's murderer. The motive for both deaths was revenge, and both are related to the Armstrong case through the ransom money.
Exactly. So our murderer is linked to the Armstrong
누구지?
case. The money is linked to the Armstrong case. But these glasses that I found in the bag, they must have something to do with this case too.
Wait, those glasses mean something to me. Wait, I know. I've seen these. They belong to Suzanne Moreau, little Daisy's nurse. I remember seeing them in her bedroom, but they were gone the day she died.
I remember the press saying that the nurse had committed suicide.
I've always believed otherwise, and the glasses are proof that she was killed by Ratchet or his accomplice. He took those glasses. I always had a gut feeling, but now, Mr. Poirot, now I have proof Suzanne was innocent.
Yes, you do. But the question I ask myself is this. Why did Ratchet keep these glasses?
가짜 증거?
Ratchet used to leave fake evidence at the scene of his crimes to incriminate others. He did the same thing to frame Suzanne.
Possibly. But keeping an object belonging to his victim as a souvenir of the murder, that is the behavior of a fetishist.
Now that you mention it, in my investigation at the time, I had already found Daisy's hair clip in Ratchet's cabin, and now we find Suzanne's glasses in a bag for Ratchet.
2 objects from 2 victims of Ratchet.
악질 중에
He is a trophy
악질이구만.
hunter.
Okay, we managed to clear up some of the gray areas. What now?
The bag only contained a fraction of the $1 million ransom of the Armstrong case. The rest must still be in a secure place. I will make a wager with you that it is the Banque du Lac in Geneva where Mr. Waddy worked.
Waddy was also the keeper of Ratchet's secrets. They were killed by the same murderer.
Agreed. Well, there is nothing more we can do here except wait for the police. Prepare yourself for a long evening with the police. We have a lot of explaining to do.
And after that?
A visit to Geneva, perhaps?
아니 도대체 이 게임 언제 끝나는 거야? 이 게임 끝이 없어? 특급 야근.
Here you are at last. I was worried about you.
We just left the police station. We had to explain to the Italian police that we were not murderers.
What? Another murder?
I'll tell you when we're underway. Are all passengers and staff aboard?
Yes, everyone is here. We were waiting for you.
다시 살인하고 여기로
Let's
탔나?
not waste any more time.
13번째
We have to
살인마가?
make a longer than usual stop in Lausanne.
What? How long?
Long enough to do a little banking in Geneva.
와우. 드디어 진실이 밝혀지나요?
But this is madness. A 13th murderer of Ratchet?
부크 연기 잘하네. 넌 거 다 알아.
Well liked.
But Monsieur Michel would have seen anyone enter Ratchet's compartment. And there were another
다른
10
12명으로
people
범인
milling
몰아가려고
about, taking
일부러
their turn at
나
stabbing him.
태우고.
How could they not notice an uninvited killer?
연기 잘한다? 거짓 진술을 해서?
The 13th killer could have acted when Michel was smoking on the platform at Vinkovsky. But even after the train departed, Michel was absent from his post at the end of the corridor several times the night of the murder. I must know where he really was and when. Yes, he most certainly returned to the train.
How can you be sure?
It's obvious. I mean, I hope Mr. Poirot agrees.
Please
Obvious.
continue, Detective Locke.
All the passengers and crew are still aboard. If the killer of Mr. Waddy had remained in Venice, we would have noticed right away that someone was missing, and we could have alerted the authorities.
I promise you, I made certain everyone was aboard before we embarked.
Book, calm yourself.
Calm myself? But we're back where we started. There is still another murderer on my train. Wait a moment. Can I change my mind about my verdict? Can we turn everyone over to the police?
Everyone? Including ourselves?
What? No.
쿠야.
No.
너 지금 어리버리한 연기하는
It's
거지?
a nightmare.
Let's
완전
take
티나.
it step by step, my friend. We can start by eliminating all of the members of the Ratchet jury. I do not think that's the right answer.
얘 아니야?
Et voilà. If we eliminate the 12 jurors, we are left with 7 additional suspects.
7? It's still too many.
I agree. We must reduce our list.
Excuse my impatience, Poirot. It's as if my beautiful train is cursed. Can you exonerate any of the 7?
Right. Book worked hard to get me aboard the
무진장.
train. He is definitely not a
애를
suspect.
썼죠? 아니죠?
Good job. Mademoiselle Locke cannot be a suspect. She pursued Mr. Waddy's murderer. I do not think that's
아니야?
the right answer.
왜?
Doctor, fantastic.
아 맞네, 얘가 알려줬지.
Dr. Constantine alerted me to the 13th statute.
아
He is not a
깜빡했다,
suspect.
미안.
I'm right again. That happens to me. I have 4 suspects left
네
who
명
I
중에
must
한
now
명이야.
examine more closely. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Maury, Monsieur Fauché, and Countess
직원들이
Andrény.
다
One of my employees? Suspicious?
All 3 got off the train in Venice to restock supplies.
직원들 중에 하나네.
Any one of them might have
포시
slipped
아니야?
away without being noticed.
I suppose.
백작 부인은
What
아니겠지.
of Countess Andrény? You cleared her yourself.
She is cleared of the first murder, but we know little of her movements here in Venice. So, we still have 4 suspects to interview.
백작 부인이 그
I can't join you,
누구더라?
Poirot. My chief saw something on the news about the case and my
할머니
involvement.
아니에요,
He's
백작 부인?
demanding an explanation. If I want to keep my badge, I have to call him.
Then you must do so by
어린
all
어린.
I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. I understand.
I'll make the call for my compartment.
그
If you're
이상한
looking for me, I'll be
문신
there.
옷 같은 거 입은 사람?
I hate to say this, Poirot, but I must. There is, of course, one other suspect with a motive for murder. The ransom money.
You mean Detective Locke? Then who did she chase? Who killed Aziz? We both saw the masked murderer standing over the body.
부크야. 닥쳐. 닥치라고. 닫으라고. 말도 안 되는 소리지. 근데 이제 1시라서 오늘 여기까지 할게요. 궁금한데 안 되겠다. 살인범이고 나발이고 시간이 너무 늦었기 때문에 그만하겠습니다. 궁금하네. 네, 나 혼자 엔딩 봐야겠다. 이 게임 꽤견 재밌네요. 왜냐면은 엔딩 궁금하면 이 게임을 사서 해야지 또 그 돈 벌어가지고 후속작 만들어줄 거 아니에요, 그죠? 좋은 생각이죠. 이래놓고 나 혼자 엔딩 보고 다 스포일러 하면은 아무 소용 없는 거 아니야? 알고 보니까 걔가 범인이었대요. 대박이죠. 이러고 다 얘기하고. 그래도 돼. 사실 뻥이에요. 이러고 뻥인 척 하면 되잖아. 아무튼 뭐 오늘 멀미 안 해서 다행이다. 그죠? 지난번에는 멀미랑 약간 체기가 있었던 것 같아. 체한 것 같아. 그래서 그렇게 된 것 같아. 제가 3D 멀미 잘 안 하거든요. 웬만하면. 재밌었어요. 맞아. 셜록보다 훨씬 쉽고 훨씬 친절하고 재밌네. 셜록은 좀 아무튼 안녕히 주무세요. 안녕히 주무세요. 햄바 안녕.